Two new contenders appear on the horizon. They are ready to challenge the world order. They will try to lay claim to the title of world's best. Europe and North America will host the best players Arena of Valor has to offer. They will compete for a share of $50,000 and a chance to represent their region at the World Cup. Everyone is out for their shot at immortality. So find your hero, assemble your team. This is the Valor Series.
For 6 weeks, teams have fought, bled, and battled to get themselves to the top and have an opportunity to make themselves have a chance to get to the regional finals at E3 next month. As a result, we are now in week number 6. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live from the Intel Esports Arena for the Valor Series presented by AT&T. My name is Bill Jump Carter. Joined with me, I've got Jeffrey Suije Chow. We just concluded the the European bracket, and North America is up next.
Yeah, this is an exciting week 6. Although both teams, Allegiance and Immortals, have secured seeds 1 and 2, seeds 3 and 4 are up in the air, and it could go to any of the top teams that are vying for that spot. So I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out.
Teams, as we've mentioned, have been fighting on the battlefield every single week. And as we are here in week number 6, let's take a look at the tournament format here for the Valor Series.
Welcome to the Valor Series for Europe and North America. Over the next few months, teams will compete against one another to be the first ever Valor Series champions. Let's take a look at what it takes. The Valor Series features 6 weeks of competition with open qualifiers. Each week, teams will enter the qualifiers to earn a spot in the top 8. Points will be awarded to the top 8 based on bracket results. Only the top 6 will secure their spot. The last 2 teams enter relegation and must compete in the open qualifiers the following week to retain their spot. Only the 2 winners of the qualifiers will claim the remaining spots in the top 8 each week. After 6 weeks, the top 4 teams with the most points will compete in the finals in Los Angeles, California. Each team will compete for their share of $50,000, the Valor Series Championship, and a ticket to the World Cup. 6 weeks of the best Arena of Valor teams Europe and North America have to offer. This is the Valor Series.
With the regional finals awarding $50,000 in prize pool money, everything is on the line for both Europe and North America. And while you have Allegiance and Immortals locked in, as you said, in that 1-2 slot, 3 and 4 is just as important for positioning because it decides who you're going to play at the live finals at E3.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you're playing for prize money. You place in the top 8, you get something for that. But more importantly, you want to fight for that 3rd and 4th seed because you never know if 3rd or 4th can upset 2nd and 1st seed. And the winner of the live playoffs in June will represent their region, North America, in the Arena of Valor World Cup in July.
$550,000 are going to be on the line for the Arena of Valor World Cup. But we've got a little bit of a journey to get there. In the meantime, we've got a giveaway yet again for all of you watching at home, courtesy of our friends over at Razer. Each and every week, we are giving ourselves away a Razer phone, 120 hertz refresh rates, as well as one of the best sound systems that you have in a mobile phone. Make sure you head on over to esl.gg/Valor Series giveaway to get yourself an opportunity to win that. We've had winners each and every week. One more winner will be decided by the end of this week. So make sure that you get that figured out. But all that mumbo jumbo and everything else aside, we're here for week number 6. Coming into week number 6, we'll take a look at the top 8 standings, and it is, as we mentioned, Allegiance and Immortals that have secured themselves the 1-2 for North America. Now it's up to Dino Riders, Upsala, and One Trick that are going to be those 3 teams vying for that 3rd and 4th spot. Teams that we definitely, have to make sure that we keep a notice on as we go throughout the entirety of week number 6.
Yeah, this is going to be intense for them. They need to perform and do as best as possible because, again, you want to place in 3rd seed if possible because that means you do not face Allegiance, who has been the most dominant team throughout all 6 weeks in the playoffs when 1st seed faces the 4th seed.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what sort of battles these teams are going to be facing, but more importantly, who they're going to be battling against. Allegiance will be playing the newcomer Toxic Pigs, which just qualified through the open qualifiers. One Trick versus Upsala. Dino Riders versus 09, and then Immortals will be going up against Reformed. And I know you're already aware of which one you're most excited for today.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how One Trick will do versus Upsala, because that's a lot of implications for that matchup, because if Upsala wins, they're looking pretty good. They're going to secure their spot, but if One Trick wins, Upsala is in some treacherous territory.
Some treacherous territory indeed. And our first match is going to be one where we get to see a potential extra level of showcase. We have Allegiance taking on Toxic Pigs. Now, Toxic Pigs, having found themselves qualified through the open qualifier, will come in as the number 8 seed. And despite the fact that they unfortunately aren't in the running for that 4th through even the 8th spot, it's going to be a test of, are they going to be able to knock the perfect record of Allegiance and potentially make things spicy from a pride standpoint?
Yeah, they have 2 things going for them. 1, nothing to lose. I heard Toxic Pigs isn't as toxic, by the way. Nothing to lose. Great experience for this team that's newly formed, right? And 2, Allegiance is comfortable. They have secured their number 1 seed, so we could see them trying a lot of different and fun things. Like Res tweeted, what support should I play? And asked basically the audience to pick the support for him. So I think it'll be a very fun matchup. It'll be a good experience and test for Toxic Pigs.
Will indeed, and let's go ahead and take a look at the other members of that Allegiance roster. Rest, as you mentioned, one of the all-star supports, and you've got Sleepy, Rocker, KO, and MTS to help out that roster as well. Now, we say it each and every week, anyone can step up at any point in time, and with the potential to pop off, any of them could be an MVP at the drop of a coin.
Yeah, AOG says stand for all like gods, because that's how they've been playing, honestly. All 6 weeks, they have been so dominant. Their counter engages, their ability to turn around a icky situation has really shown off their power. And I'm excited to see what they're going to try out, because they don't want to throw out any trump cards anymore. They've secured number 1 seed, and it's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
It's going to be interesting to see what sort of permutations that the members of Allegiance decide to create for themselves in the pick ban phase. But before we do that, we're going to have to be going up, or we're going to have to find out the other roster who they're going to be playing, and that's going to be Toxic Pig. It's going to be Nova, Kami, Expectation, Devil, and Focus. Now, while some of these members are some more of the well-known names within the community, they're going to have a tall task against some of the juggernaut professional players that they have against Allegiance.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Focus is going to play. He has been a big member of the community, very active on social media, also in Twitch chat. Can't wait to see how he'll perform against a team like Allegiance. So for me, I bet for the community, it's going to be very fun to watch how him and his team play out.
It'll be a showcase of skill and entertainment one way or another. But, Sweej, we found you in an unfortunate position in the first half of today, where you predicted 3 out of 4 correct. We have the updated statistics. We're going to pull that up for the audience to see.
I dropped.
And you did drop indeed, but you went back up.
1%.
You went from 89 to 87 to 88. So the climb for 90% is still a possibility. And so the answer comes to you, or the question comes to you. Game number 1, who's it going to be? Or match number 1.
I think Allegiance is definitely going to take it. However, I have a feeling they're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to try different compositions they haven't tried before. So it's going to be closer than we think. It's not going to be a complete stomp, but I think Allegiance is definitely going to take it 2-0.
All right, Allegiance with the 2-0 victory. But what about you, Twitch chat? Are you a believer of the Toxic Pigs, or are they going to be a Allegiance roast over the fire? Let us know, Allegiance or Toxic Pigs, in the chat, so that way we can track those results. We will check in with you guys at the end of the pick ban phase, and as we get players loaded in and figuring out how this lobby is going to get set up, talk to me a little bit about what you're feeling for the pick ban phase, considering we did just have a European bracket that we got to see some slight changes in those ban phases.
Yeah, Omen has been a high priority for EU. I wonder if this is going to start shifting over to North America. We've seen that actually happen, where EU played a lot of Kilgroth and Omen came out, and then NA kind of caught on and experimented immediately. So I feel like when it comes to the ban phases, Zenio was a huge priority ban normally in EU. NA is starting to show that as well. So the metas are very similar. However, I would love to see how Toxic Pigs, what meta they're going to play. Are they known for their assassin compositions, or are they going to go for that ADC meta composition that we see a lot of teams playing? The assassin composition has been a lot of high reward. I've seen it winning more often when picked into an ADC composition, and they're able to hard counter that team composition in the early game, especially.
So now the question becomes, we don't know what Toxic Pig is going to play. We don't know what composition they're going to prioritize. We can kind of assume based on some of the players and what they've had, but it's essentially an open book. If you were Toxic Pigs and you had 5 weeks of research to look at Allegiance and to see how they play, what would be the winning composition against a team like Allegiance that can pop off from any position?
I think the key would be to not give rest Teamy. He's too good on Teamy. Take really strong supports and take a Tulin, for example, like run Omar with Tulin and just win the early game. Don't give Sleepy his power picks like Liliana is very dangerous on him. Give him a more weak hero that he needs to scale into, like a Preda, for example, and just run the early game gamut against Allegiance. And Rocker, if he plays Morin, you gotta punish Morin early in the jungle because Morin doesn't offer a lot in the early game, but is a monster in the late game. So just don't let Allegiance get to late game because, like I said, they are the best team in North America when it comes to team fighting in late game, and you do not want to give them an advantage when they reach that late game phase.
So now I'm going to open the book a little bit wider for you. I know that throughout the research that we do, a huge piece of your research and your predictions come for what they are playing overseas, what Southeast Asia is playing, what they're playing over in those different regions, seeing what is meta in regions outside of Europe and North America, and seeing that Allegiance essentially has an opportunity to play whatever the heck that they want. Are there any picks that we see as a consistent trend overseas that we don't see here that you would want to see kind of sprout up a little bit more?
Yeah, the interesting thing is Liliana makes it through in the draft. If you look at Team OP, which is a very well-known Korea team, one of the best teams in Korea, they are in Taiwan. They traveled to Taiwan and played in the City Cup and City teams that are very, very strong. And they let Liliana through, and they can counter it really hard early. They just shut down Liliana in the early game because she doesn't have that much early. She has to scale into her mid-game to late-game form. So I feel like the meta is very interesting to see how C always is ahead, like 6 months, literally 6 months, and then it translates over to EU, then NA. For example, Omen is constantly priority banned in Southeast Asia because of his ability to dominate side lane, and also his ultimate is very, very strong. So I could see that happening and play out here in the ban and draft phase.
If there is a hero that you have seen, whether it be sprout up somewhere for the side overseas over in SEA, or something that you have just been cautiously watching, you mentioned the Thane being one that has a pocket pick in some instances as a counter to Alice. Are there any other pocket picks that we haven't seen as much as that you potentially would want to see have a rise?
Yeah, I think Yorn is solid in the side lane. I was very intrigued with how Yorn would do in early game, but as long as the team is supporting Yorn and allows him to scale into his mid-game power spike, he is something to be reckoned with. We saw 0-7 in EU play him. Yorn, For the Dream also played Yorn side lane, and I feel like Yorn's side lane is actually really, really strong. So we could see a return to ADC side lane with a very dominant jungler such as Zephyrs or Zill in the jungle that can gank, set up plays and allow Yorn to scale and take towers. So I feel like an ADC side lane is a really strong meta composition that we could see return based on how it has been played successfully so far.
Well, you guys heard it here first. You have the opportunity, and if you don't forget, if you want to go back and check exactly what he had to say, what he's predicted, and more importantly, what he feels you should be playing, we always have those VODs available on our YouTube. That's youtube.com/Valor Series, where you have that opportunity to not only check out what we have on the desk here with Sweej, as well as the past VODs and everything that has happened over the course of the last 6 weeks, and everything that will be coming in preparation for what we have in the Valor Series regional finals that are going to be coming up in just under a month. We're waiting for a player to finish loading into the lobby, and then the pick ban phase will be started very shortly. So don't worry, we're going to get to it. It'll be there just for you. And in the meantime, we're going to continue to rack the brain of this fine gentleman here. Now, going back to the series at hand, as players are getting themselves a lot closer, Toxic Pigs, Allegiance, Is there any outliers that you're seeing that we might need to pay attention to coming into this first match?
Yeah, I think Flash is going to be a very interesting pick. Sleepy has played Flash so well, so that's something that Toxic Pigs needs to watch out. Not only do they need to be afraid of his Liliana, but also his Flash. I mean, it's very unpredictable. He knows the limits of the heroes that he plays. So I think Flash will be a very interesting pick to see which team is either going to ban him or allow him to go through. And if AOG picks up Flash, that's going to be a really tough situation to deal with because he's such high skill cap. But with a high tier player like Sleepy performing on Flash, it could result in very scary burst and combo potential.
Now, we have seen Flash prioritized in a multitude of differences between both Europe and North America. Are we seeing, with the rise of Flash and the counter that he provides for someone like Liliana, and the fact that he can duel in some instances against a Tulin, for better or for worse, despite the lack of early game that Flash has, when you have new heroes that show up, others that might not be as powerful sometimes rise with them. Looking at combinations that work well with Flash, whether it be from a side laner, support, or even kind of a jungle roam, is there anything that you're thinking that pairs up very well with Flash that teams are going to want to get their hands on?
Yeah, Malik pairs really well because when Flash uses his Cyclone ultimate and Malik lands a knockup, the Cyclone is done, the vacuum then pulls people in and it kind of displaces them for a good second, does a lot of AoE damage. Zephyr is a really good combo with Flash because Flash can get to the back line, Zephyr can also dive, get to the black line as well. There's a lot of good combinations as long as you have like CC, like Zenio is also really good at Flash because he offers that Malice AoE stun. The one thing about Flash too is like he can be countered. Although he's really high skill cap, he's really slippery and fast, you can't counter him. Like Tulin is actually good against Flash because if Flash goes in and Tulin has his passive Thunderclap up, speaking to him, he's just banned right here. It allows Tulin to do a lot of counter damage to Flash. If Flash is trying to punch him, Tulin can just return the damage with Ion Blast and his Thunderclap passive. So Liliana Tulin already taken off the map. Like I said, the mages are going to be so critical here. And Legion's taking off Teamy off the board. Oh, exit. They're going to actually pick Max instead and leave Teamy open for a potential first pick. So if I were Toxic Pigs, I would ban Teamy here and I would ban Superman. And hopefully they have a response if Legion's first picks the Flash.
So we've got Liliana, Superman, Max, and Tulin being banned away by both of these teams, the final ban for Allegiance. Now, we do have to remind you that PYU is subbing in for Rocker, something that we have to make sure to keep an eye on. Despite the power that Rocker has provided for us in a multitude of settings, PYU is the substitute in for him today.
Yeah, PYU actually is from TCL. It's a well-known Korean team. He's actually one of the best junglers and top-ranked Conqueror player in Korea. So them adding PYU to the roster is actually pretty scary. He was a jungler that, you know, a lot of top teams feared and respected. He's a very young kid, very capable, so I'm super excited to see how he's going to perform here in North America.
And so now we have a Zenio being almost an immediate lock-in here for Allegiance. Devil and Nova lock in Lumber and Ryoma respectively. So already coming off with two very strong picks, but instead of going for something like a Malik or even a Lubu in some instances, maybe even an Omen, they decide to prioritize the Lumber.
Yeah, Lumber, it's an interesting pick. I don't know why they would pick the Lumber. You know, Omen is up, Wonder Woman is up, Lubu is up. Why not secure some dominant side laners instead of picking at Lumber? Because they're not going to pick Lumber over the side of Allegiance because you have a lot of other good supports too, and I feel like Lumber is not a priority pick. So now they're going to go ahead and pick up these junglers. They're probably going to do a Ryoma jungle or a Kilgore jungle, and then allow the other two to side lane, which is a very strong composition already. However, L'Oreal is going to counter that composition so hard in the late game, so they got to be careful.
Yeah, it looks like the Toxic Pigs decided to hold their mid pick until the very end, being a smart choice considering that MTS locked in Yanni for their mid lane, Omen, and what it looks to be a Kali as well as a Violet here locked in for Allegiance. So they aren't pulling any punches. It is a strength of strengths here.
Yeah, if I'm the Kilgroth, I would be scared in my fish pants.
But okay, here's the fun part. You have two mid lane mages that got selected, Yanni and Kali. Who's going where, Sweet J?
Kali will probably go to mid because it's on Sleepy. MTS is going to side lane the L'Oreal. But again, L'Oreal counters that comp really well, and Kali as well have such a strong front line. Her Grievance is a Gatling gun of 55 rates. If Kilgroth stands in front of that, he will get diced like sushi. So Kilgroth is countered by Kali pretty hard because Kilgroth wants to get in your face, he wants to stay on top of you and just slash you to death. But if Kali is ulting, you can't really take up all that damage from her ultimate. So Kali is a perfect pick and counter into the Kilgroth pick.
That works so, but with a Raz picked up in the mid lane, what are we thinking for the potential matchup that Raz is going to provide if Kali does decide to go in the mid?
Yeah, Raz needs to go in with Lubu because he has a knock-up. So if they combo the Ryoma stun, Lumber Earth Splitter ultimate that is an AoE stun, then you have Raz's knock-up, you have Lubu's knock-up. They have a very, very nice engage comp. So Toxic Pigs, if they execute their composition properly, they can win a lot of these fights. But the key is, do they have that team synergy and chemistry to be able to upset Allegiance here?
Toxic Pigs, however, walk away with 77%
Wow.
agreeance of the wins. Allegiance only with 23, but regardless, you cannot look past the power and proficiency that Allegiance have had over the course of the first 5 weeks. Coming into week number 6, they have won 5 of those 6 weeks. Toxic Pigs, as the newcomer, have a tall task ahead of them as the double mage is coming out here for Allegiance. Sleepy, as well as MTS, picking up what it seems to be Kali and then Yanni in the bot lane.
Yeah, this L'Oreal side lane is very off meta. We've never seen it played, and this is the first time. Rest misses his malice on TP Devil, so that means they're going to have to back off there because what they're doing is they want to rotate and invade jungle. That's exactly what they want to do, but the rotation from Toxic Pigs will counter that. And look at the Raz there. Going on to Raz, he's going to take a lot of damage. However, Exception is going to come in and be able to do a lot of work here.
Focus is roaming down from the top side of the map. He's got the Kilgroth onto Rest, trying to get a little bit of extra damage. That's going to be a nice little come away there. Rest is going to be able to get away safely. KO as well to help them ward off. So it was a great effort to push onto the top side of the map, but no one walks away with a kill.
Yeah, so far looking pretty good for Toxic Pigs. You know, they're even with Allegiance. They're able to protect their jungle with that 3-man rotation there. They saw the aggression coming, and let's see how Toxic Pigs is going to be able to contest Dragon. It's going to be coming up in less than 30 seconds here. This will be the key deciding factor of who's going to win the mid lane. And look at this play here.
Knock-up coming out there of Rest. Going to be able to help him out just a little bit. PYU is going to get just enough of a slow on expectation. Get a little bit of extra damage onto Kami as well as Devil. So Sleepy will walk away safely. Rest, an individual that has been a foundational staple point for Allegiance and their roster throughout the entirety of the Valor Series thus far. Every time that Toxic Pigs and every other team in the North American Valor Series thus far have tried to gank, have tried to be in any rough situation, Rest has been there for the support.
Yeah, and speaking of the Dragon, look at that. They're able to rotate, get the enemy, get Toxic Pigs pretty low, where they have to recall and reset. And as a result, they knew that. They rushed the Dragon. That is perfect textbook 101 on how to secure the Dragon safely against your opponent, is get them low. And now look at their aggression
Oh,
here.
he steals it! He's able to secure that. Sleepy picks up the Sage buff. There's the ultimate you were talking about, the machine gun doing just enough to be able to help them create that KO. In the meanwhile, is going to get a nice little scuffle there on the top side. Now, Kilgroth versus Omen. We've talked a little bit about that matchup in the sense of you want to see more Omen off the mark, but in the meanwhile, they've decided to get themselves a little bit of a aggressive maneuvering into the Toxic Pigs jungle. Allegiance walks away with 1 kill. PYU being able to pick that up for him and his team as they get themselves a little bit of a reset. But let's go back to that matchup. Omen versus Kilgroth in the top lane. Talk to me a little bit about that, Sweet.
Yeah, Kilgroth can stand his ground against Omen. As long as they're even in items, he can win and out-trade the Omen because Kilgroth has innate lifesteal and attack damage with his abilities. So he can actually out-trade the Omen because he attacks faster. Even though Omen has damage reduction with his untouchable ability, Kilgroth, if fed, can beat an Omen 1-on-1, but KO right now is ahead of the Kilgroth. So it depends on who has more lifesteal.
So now we're going to have another scuffle, but this time it's on the bottom side of the map. 3 members of ALG make that 4 as PYU joins the mix. Are going to come down onto the members of Toxic Pigs. Devil's going to go down immediately. Sleepy being able to pick himself up that kill. He's going to ward off the other members of Toxic Pigs as they're going to rotate themselves to the middle of the map. 10 seconds left remaining on that Dragon, but it looks like they're going to be able to find themselves a nice, quick, and successful outer turret here in the middle.
Yeah, what people don't realize is Kali's basic attacks do magic damage and have a pierce effect. And on top of that, her Grievance, her ultimate, where she summons 55 waves of raids over 5 seconds, it does 10% additional magic damage to monsters. So she's really good at securing the minions. And speaking of Kali, she falls to Toxic Pigs.
Rest, however, being able to pick up that kill onto Kami. Nova picking the one up onto Rest as well, so it's a 2-for-2. MTS, though, looks like he's going to be diving in oh so efficiently to pick up that kill onto Nova. Not before Nova, however, picks that kill up onto PYU, and so just like that, it's going to be a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Toxic Pigs.
Yeah, KO's doing a really nice rotation there, stealing because he won the lane. He's going to go ahead and try to steal this red buff, but Focus is aware, and let's see if he's going to be able to steal it away from Focus here.
KO doing a really good job being forced actually to flicker away, who doesn't want to have to worry about the rest of that team. Steals it away, but hey, at the end of the day, you might have blown the flicker, but as long as you can steal that experience as well as what that Might Golem provides to help out your team, things are going to work out so much more in your favor. Abyssal Dragon is alive on the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, Sleepy finds himself getting caught out way too much. Not where he wants to be. Rest does the ultimate, but his fellow teammate died before he had an opportunity to get anything else through. MTS roams himself up to help out, but with it to be Sleepy down, 2 members of Allegiance are forced to walk away, and it looks like that is going to be an Abyssal Dragon in favor of Toxic
Yeah,
Pigs.
Sleepy was playing a little bit over aggressive there, overextending and getting a 3v1, but look at L'Oreal, her ultimate is up, and this is a really bad situation for TP Del. He will not be able to escape from L'Oreal, and she's going to be able to secure the kill on Lumber, and now the Dragon is going to be in play for Allegiance to take.
MTS does a really good job of jumping into Nova to get a little bit of extra damage, but it's just enough to ward them off. Abyssal Dragon goes down to PYU. So despite the substitution, Allegiance's new AD carry in the jungle, sitting at 1-1-3. PYU doing a good job for his team.
Yeah, PYU has thousands of games in Korea. I think well over 10,000 games. So this guy can play almost every single hero very, very well in jungle. And his Violet, his positioning has been on point so far.
So now we're seeing yet another fight coming out of Allegiance. Rest is going to find himself very low. Focus is going to be on the backside of PYU. There's not much that this Violet's going to be able to do to get away. It's a stun, it's a knockup, it's a death. 2 members fall for Allegiance. Toxic Pigs being able to find themselves all sorts of an advantage. Meanwhile, MTS is going to bob and weave, bounce and blink. He's going to be able to secure himself 1 kill. Not going to be enough to pick up Devil. He's going to have to be trying to do everything he could to get a nice little reset onto Nova. Moving himself around. The kill happens. Oh, MTS stays alive as Sleepy comes to help. His teammate, 2 members of Toxic Pigs now fall.
Yeah, and KO is able to take a tower. Look at him. He's going to be able to out-trade Focus and get a kill 1v1. Not only getting the tower, but also getting the kill, which is massive for the top lane, taking down 2 towers so far.
Focus,
so very well played by KO.
Focus going to have to find himself some bifocals as he's going to be on the gray screen now, looking out at his team. The inner tower goes down. Like what you mentioned, KO and that Omen has been putting in absolute work. 4.5 thousand gold to Focus and his Killgrass 3,000. So 1,500 gold is plenty of a solid place for you to be at the 7.5 minute mark.
Yeah, you can see there, Omen on KO is doing so well. He is the most fed in the entire game at 4.6, doing a really good job rotating enemy jungle, taking towers, putting so much pressure against the Killgrass. So the fact that he's winning his lane allows AOG to focus down the bottom lane now.
And so now not only does the inner tower go down, but you're going to find Nova being fall in the process. Kami, fortunately, picks up that kill onto MTS for Toxic Pigs, but they're losing more objectives in the process. The rotate down from PYU wouldn't surprise me if it's a very simple, very routine Abyssal Dragon. And as I say that, 3 of the 5 members are down now towards the Abyssal Dragon. That's going to be an easy take for them. And now just like that, Allegiance at the 8-minute mark finds themselves up over 6,000 gold.
Yeah, this is huge. And look at the damage coming from Kali. That internal blame, the circle that she just dropped there, doing 500 plus damage per second on the minions there. And look at the tick damage. Look at how much she's able to zone and put so much range pressure against her opponents in lane.
So now Spirit Sentinel will fall. Little piece of extra gold for the members of Allegiance, and with KO in the bot side creating pressure on the opposite side of the map, Darkslayer is going to go down extraordinarily fast as you have 3 carries for Allegiance being able to chunk that down extraordinarily low, and it's going to end up going down Focus. Kami and the rest of Toxic Pigs are going to have to get the heck out of Dodge because Allegiance have taken the Darkslayer and they are ready for blood.
Yeah, and look at look at Omen. He's so fed. And Violet, she has so much damage on her, finishing her Soul Reaver. along with the other tier 3 damage, this is going to allow them to take towers pretty easy. On top of that, Kali does magic damage in her base attack, so she's able to take towers from range as well.
Not only that, but you have so much gold into the hands of PYU and that Violet. The high ground turret goes down. Super minions have been spawned. Nova and Devil fall. Focus is still 7 seconds, and it looks like with 4 of the 5 members available, Allegiance is going to push into the middle lane. They do not have any minions available, so they're going to have to be careful, but I don't think it matters. They're not going to stop. They're going to continue. The final minion comes in for the tick, and Allegiance walks away with the Game 1 win. Toxic Pigs have been put on a roast, and the fire has started because it's Allegiance and the momentum that they have created since week number 2 to put them at a Game 1 victory. Welcome back to the desk. Suijay, there was nothing in the cards, unfortunately, for Toxic Pig, despite the double mage creation composition that you have, as well as a substitution for Allegiance. They did not slow down.
Yeah, they didn't slow down. And actually, they played out of character a little bit. Sleepy over-positioning and getting caught 3 versus 1. They definitely played aggressive. Had some nice rotations, but Toxic Pigs also has some counter rotations. But what it came down to was objectives. And that's exactly what Allegiance did. They took multiple Abyssal Dragons. They pushed down towers, and KO really carried there, taking down 2 tier 2 towers and shutting down focus in the top lane and allowing his team to focus the mid lane and objectives in the rest of the map.
Toxic Pigs, despite the somewhat early game strong composition that they had in a lot of instances, they didn't have the rotations that they were looking for. Raz, it seemed every step of the way was just 1, 2, 3,000 gold behind, and there wasn't anything he was able to do. And something that you noted about as well, being forced to stick the Kilgroth in a side lane against someone like an Omen boded almost a disastrous opportunity lost for the Toxic Pigs.
Yeah, the key was Kilgroth had to stay even with Omen. Kilgroth can beat an Omen 1v1 as long as they're even and have parity, because Kilgroth is the ultimate dueler. Omen is also a really strong dueler. He's probably the best dueler in the game, but Kilgroth has innate lifesteal. He can't be CC'd, and he attacks faster than Omen, so he can actually outplay an Omen if the items are even. But Omen also, depending on if he's landing all his skill shots, he has his passive Thirst, which does true damage every 3rd hit. So he can also beat a Kilgroth, and it comes down to really a skill matchup at that point.
And so now Toxic Pigs find themselves down a game. Allegiance 1 win away from making it into a 6th consecutive semifinals match. Now, taking a look at their unconventional composition, the double mage, the question remains, Suijay, is a double mage composition competitively viable against a team that might have a little bit of better moving parts than the Toxic Pigs?
Yeah, what they played was a double mage is really good into assassin comp, because the assassin comps like Ryoma with Raz. Raz is kind of like a mage assassin. He wants to go in on you. And with the composition like Kilgroth, Lubu, they all want to go on top of you. So picking double mage counters that completely. What counters double mage is ADC, and the side of Toxic Pigs did not have an ADC, a long range like Violet, that can do damage to these mages from afar.
It seems that there's a lot that Toxic Pigs need to fix, but it all starts with the pick ban phase. We have gotten that started for game number 2. Toxic Pigs, mind you, are on the blue. Allegiance finds themselves on the red, and Liliana is the immediate first ban for Toxic Pigs.
Yeah, Liliana is a good ban. If you don't play her well, then just take it away from Sleepy. However, we've seen Sleepy be able to play every mage really, really well. So let's see if the Flash is going to come out this time, or will he get a nice ban. Superman, again, will probably be banned, along with Omen potentially, because we saw how well Omen was played. And Murad is going to be taken off the map. He was not banned in any of the matches in EU or NA until now. So Murad is a very interesting ban that they decided to do instead of their normal bans from game 1.
So now with Liliana, Murad, Max, and Teamy being banned off the table, that leaves an opportunity for Malik, Zenial, as well as Superman. We're going to see banned away. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a Flash being banned away by Allegiance, but rather, it still leaves plenty of options open and on the table. We haven't talked about it as much since the big patch drop, but seeing the versatility as well as the large number of viable heroes that you have here currently in Arena of Valor definitely adds some spice to the mix for this big band phase.
Yeah, definitely. We have some powerful picks like Ryoma, Wonder Woman, Malik open as well.
Flash is an option as well.
Oh, and Omega is going to be first picked by Toxic Pigs. Wow, that is such an off meta pick there.
Well,
looks like they're going with the Pyrrha. Maybe Maganga. If we can see Maganga, that's going to be really fun to watch.
Something of the sort, but Omega being the first pick priority. Allegiance kind of recognizing this, and there it is indeed, the Centaur herself, Pora. Pora is going to get locked in, as well as a flash for Allegiance, that potentially going into the hands of Sleepy, as it looks like a Yorn is going to be the hover for Toxic Pigs, and then a Joker locked in as well.
Yeah, Joker locked in is a very good pick, but 280C comp, that is very risky. If they pick an Assassin dive comp, they can just shut down the early game so well. I mean, Ryoma with Zale or Lupu, oh my goodness, that's going to be really solid draft by Allegiance there into this double ADC competition. And Zuka is going to be picked up. The one thing I like about Omega is he's a tower pusher, so if they can play and push lane really well, his abilities, his passive is Demolition Mode. His abilities do full damage to structure, so he can push down towers really, really fast. And look at that, quadruple ADC.
Quadruple ADC comes out for Toxic Pigs. It is
Maganga.
They're taking off every piece of gloves that they have, because now it is all in for Toxic Pigs. The 4 ADC as well as the Omega locked in, and there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the clown himself, Maganga, is going to get picked. And so not only do we have a Maganga, a pick that we're not used to seeing, but it looks like Sleepy is going to be playing that Riora in the mid lane.
Yeah, carry Pyrrha. That's going to be really fun and interesting to watch.
We don't see that as often by any sort of means. And so now it's going to be an interesting one as we get these players loaded on the battlefield.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this will play out. This is very fun. It's very off meta. Toxic Pigs win condition is literally push the lane. They have a lane pusher. They have 4 ADCs. They can shove a tower and shove lanes so quickly. And they just need to focus their firepower onto one enemy hero when they jump in. But they got to be careful. If Lubu or Ryoma gets multiple stuns on them, it's going to be a little rough.
And now the real question becomes, how does the synergy of a Flash Roam come into factor here for Allegiance?
Well, all the ADCs are very squishy, so you don't have to build a tanky Flash. You can build a very bursty Flash and basically jump onto ADC, use your abilities to CC them. After they waste their ultimates onto you, you can just dodge it with your Cyclone, pull them in, and get some kills.
Well, we're going to have to find out if the quadruple AD carry works. Make sure you tweet at us using the hashtag Valor Series to let us know your predictions and thoughts on the match. Our first quarterfinal of North America is upon us. Toxic Pigs are down 1 game to Allegiance. Let us see what happens.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun match. I can't wait to see how Sleepy's going to play this Pyrrha. And, of course, Maganga being played by Payu there. That's going to be really, really cool. The key thing here is they have to kind of stick together. This is a comp where quadruple ADC, they're going to be able to take this tower here. Fennec has Beast Mark. He can actually put it onto the tower and do significant amounts of damage on the tower. And they're going to rush this tower and take the fastest Tier 1 tower in Valor Series history, which is at the 51-second mark.
51 seconds. They've secured themselves a bot lane tower. And so the next question becomes, what is next? Because we sure as heck don't know. First tower goes down. They've got themselves a little piece of that advantage, and so now they're going to rotate themselves towards the middle of the map. Rest and Sleepy are going to have to be using everything that they can to try to defend. Rest is going to try to go clear out some minions as well as getting any sort of extra damage. All the meanwhile, though, Toxic Pigs have secured themselves now a second tower. Tower number 2 at a minute 24. Rest is going to try to go in and get himself a knockup, but First Blood is going to go on to Devil. You're going to see MTS trying to dodge and dive in the middle, trying to get some extra damage onto the members of the Toxic Pigs. PYU picks up that kill on Nakami. Nova almost going to find himself low, but it instead is Focus, Nova, and Expectation that go down. Devil, the only one left alive. KO's going to flicker over the wall, will end up missing the damage, but it doesn't matter because Pora will help out his team. And so just like that, Toxic Pigs get 2 towers, but lose all 5 lives in the process.
Yeah, they have 2 disrupt and triple heal. Their goal is to literally literally push lane towers with 2 disrupts and Omega, and the fastest
Not
ace.
figuratively,
This is the fastest
literally.
ace too. This is also the fastest 2 towers takedown and the fastest ace as well within under 2 minutes. This game is already setting so many records off.
So now the question becomes, Suijay, they've died. They weren't able to get anything outside of that second tower in the mid lane. You can see them grouping up on the top side of the map here. Is this an opportunity where they can actually take this as MTS looks to decide to try to get himself some sort of clear? And the damage is there. They've already taken this down 33%.
Yeah, however, look at the gold. Allegiance is 7K to 5.4K. That's almost a 2K gold lead because they're kind of letting their jungle do whatever and taking towers. And this is why jungle is so important. Jungle gives you levels. It gives you that gold. And look at the level difference right now. It's level 4s mostly on Toxic Pigs and level 5s and 6. So if they team fight, they're going to face a really uphill battle here.
Team fighting is not the name of the game for Toxic Pigs. It looked like Allegiance is going to come on the bottom side. Another tower will be taken in their favor. However, look at what they're losing in the process. Devil goes down almost immediately, Rest being able to pick up that kill. And so now they're trying to base race in the top side of the map because the bottom is pushing just as quickly.
Yeah, look at this. This is insane. 2 defending, though. Sleepy defending along with MTS. Able to hold off for them. However, they're going to lose the fastest high ground tower in the game at 324. That's the fastest I've seen a high ground be taken down in the Valor Series so far. This is going to be a very fast and interesting game to watch.
Sleepy takes down Expectation. Another kill goes into the pocket of Allegiance. 7-3, but more importantly, it's that 3.4 thousand gold that they've already got for themselves. The advantage alone is almost synonymous and parallel with what you have in the time. 350 as it is up now to, I stand corrected, 4,000 gold in favor of Allegiance.
Yeah, look at the poke. They can actually hold down tower pretty well here because Quadruple ADC can easily clean out the wave and stay under tower and just keep farming and clearing the wave out. But however, Ryoma is on the bottom against Finnick here, and look at KO. He's going to get caught up and rotated on, and looks like they're going to be able to secure a kill on him.
Oh, they're going to do a really good job, though, Allegiance, on making sure to stall as much as they can. Rest is going to go down almost immediately to Devil. You're going to see another piece of damage. KO will fall as well, so that's 3 members of Allegiance down, as they're going to have to find themselves in a little bit of a different situation, as MTS is going to push on the top side of the map and try to get a little bit of extra damage on that tower.
Yeah, I mean, triple heal, double disrupt. Never seen such a talent competition coming from Toxic Pig before. But so far, the strategy is kind of working. They're trying to get another tower now. Look at that. Payu's able to come down. Without the wave, the tower is a lot harder to hit. Focus is going to fall down immediately. And then look at the collapse here. This is going to be way too much damage onto Toxic Pigs, and they're going to lose 3, or actually just 2.
Kami still ends up winning his life in the trade. KO and the other members of Allegiance not able to pick up that kill, but they only have 1 minute, but it doesn't matter because it's now damage onto this tier 1 tower. They're going to try to do everything they can to take this one down. And TJ, we have to remind the audience at all times, we had the earliest tier 1, we had the earliest tier 2, and now the earliest high ground tower, as it looks like things are going to be very close for both of these teams. But MTS is going to end up going down. Rest was dead in the meanwhile, so it's going to be trades aplenty. Toxic Pigs not afraid to fight.
Yeah, they are not afraid to fight, and Expectation needs to be careful here. Maganga has 4 stacks. If he detonates, he will be instantly blown up here. However, Maganga doesn't have his ultimate. If he does, he can detonate Expectation right now, but he does not choose to.
Doesn't decide to use that ultimate now. Sleepy in the meanwhile are going to try to take down the lower members of Toxic Pigs. PYU ends up going down. There's nothing that they can do quite yet. They do have to be careful because this is the early game power that you have from a quadruple ranged composition. Allegiance unable to have the defensive mechanisms to get themselves to the backline quite yet, but meanwhile, just as I say that, KO flickers into the enemy base, is able to get himself a nice little kill on that 2 ability. Rest is trying to get himself a little piece of extra damage, but it is nothing but a stall tactic as we are at 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and the 6th tower has been taken by Allegiance.
Yeah, the 6th tower has been taken. They only taken 3 towers on Toxic, so their strategy is falling flat on his head there, but look at that. They're trying to get Sleepy, but they're not able to, and then Toxic Pigs right now just enjoying and having tons of fun.
It's all about the fun, Suijay. It is week number 6 of the Valor Series, as it looks like another member of Toxic Pigs ends up falling. That's going to be Devil going down. Having 15 seconds still left on his death timer. As it looks like Focus is going to try to do everything he can to try to prevent the wave. He's going to knock up KO, but I don't know how it's going to be a nudge. Focus is going to end up dead as you see Rest being able to pick up that kill for his team.
Focus needed to stay behind tower, but instead he focused on dying and giving a death over there. And look at Rest go in there, doing so much damage on Zuka.
Kami tries to be able to pick up that kill. It does indeed work, but at what cost does it lose them? 2 members have decided to fall, 7 minutes and 20 seconds. It's going to be, again, another Allegiance victory as only member left alive is Expectation, rather. Super Minions are in the base. PYU as well as Sleepy are trying to push themselves even more. Sleepy picks up that kill. Focus is still left alive. Try to get himself a little bit of extra items, but I don't think it's going to be enough just yet. Those bifocals we wanted him to buy in game number 2 might have to turn into trifocals, as it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick up the kill onto Allegiance. Disengage, but still with all the lead.
Yeah, that was a huge fight there for Allegiance. Now all they need to do is push and get the Dark Slayer and end the game at this point, because look at the items there. There's no one, everyone is so squishy except for Omega. And if they don't coordinate and be able to focus their fire, I don't see a chance of Toxic Pigs winning any fight.
Things are starting to look even scarier for them now. 8 minutes into the game, another kill gets picked up. Devil goes down as well as Focused almost immediately. Many members on this Toxic Pig teams, unfortunately, with the bloodbath that we have seen today, have not made it past their death timers for more than a 60-second period, finding themselves in a heap of trouble as Allegiance continues to show yet again why they have locked the #1 seed here in North America. Toxic Pigs now being forced to defend the top side of their base. Everything else is gone, so now it's a matter of what can we protect, how long can we stall ourselves out. Nova being able to pick up that kill onto Rest. There's not much that they can do, however, as it looks to be another high ground tower going down in their favor. Only the core remains.
Yeah, only the core remains. Now that means when you take all 3 high ground towers, 2 additional super minions. Look at the home basing there. And the damage coming out from Aganga's AoE. So much AoE damage there.
And so now with Nova down, Rest as well, it's going to be a 4v4, but I stand corrected because now it's a 3v4 as it looks like Devil will end up falling yet again. Unfortunately, he is 4 and 8 in this game right now. Sleepy being able to pick themselves up another kill. It's going to be 1, it's going to 2, it's going to 3, it's going to 4, it's going to ace, and more importantly, that's going to be game number 2 going over to Allegiance. Toxic Pigs are taken down. They came with their high tops, laced and ready to go, but unfortunately the Toxic Pigs were not able to keep up on the blacktop today. Allegiance walks away with a clean, swift, and powerful 2-0 victory, showing yet again why they're #1 in North America.
Yeah, that was a very fun game to match. Set a lot of Valor Series records. Fastest tier 1, fastest second tower, fastest ace, fastest high ground tower. A very interesting strategy, high risk, high reward, but more high risk for Toxic Pigs.
It was certainly a high risk. It was an interesting first 60 seconds. You had a 51-second tower and then a minute 24-second tower. The question becomes, despite the shenanigans that we saw from Toxic Pigs in game number 2, is there any validity in appropriate rotations to win off a 480 carry composition?
Yeah, no, you have to focus on jungle. The game is about jungle. Jungle control means win. You can't.
Yeah, no.
You can't be narrowly focused on just lane or only jungle. If you have, it's a balance, right? And you have to kind of balance both. And that's why the competition ultimately just didn't work out, because if you lose your jungle completely, you're gonna fall behind.
Gonna fall behind indeed. Well, we're gonna have to award ourselves an MVP. Allegiance, of course, walking away with the victory, but it was Rest showing yet again another piece of versatility, having a Zuka, so deciding to carry a little bit in that second game.
Yeah, he played Zuka really well, and I believe he was on Zenio the game 1, and
yes, he was.
Made a lot of plays with the ultimates and the malice stuns. So Rest definitely was like their initiator, the protector. He did kind of everything for the team in both games.
A little bit of everything off the mark, and so now as Toxic Pigs have gone down, Allegiance finds themselves into the semifinals. One Trick versus Upsala is going to be our next match. I know it is the match to highlight for today. What are you most excited for, Sui J?
Yeah, this is the match that's going to have the most implications. If One Trick wins, they are going to have a much better chance of securing their ticket into the top 4. If Upsala wins, they have a chance to move up to second seed, which is what they want. Or not second seed, third seed instead of fourth, because they don't want to face Allegiance in the first round of the playoffs. So both teams are going to play out of their minds to make this series as competitive as possible.
Well, I'll do you one better. One Trick has to win if they want to get into the top 4. If One Trick loses and Upsala creates the victory, One Trick will not find themselves in the top 4, that spot being taken by the Dino Riders. Well, we've said it before, we're going to say it again. If you want to make sure that you can check out everything that the Valor Series has to offer, because of course you do, head on over to youtube.com/Valor Series. That way you can get all the match VODs, the highlight, the exclusive content, as well as Sui J's smiling face. It has been a beautiful disaster. We'll say a beautiful disaster in some instances for our first series. Series number 2 is going to be coming up very shortly, but for that, we're going to take a quick break.
Welcome to the hero spotlight of Max the Wonderkind. Enemies escaping? Not from Max. Max is great at chasing them down. Think you're safe from Max? Think again. Man's ultimate, Liftoff, can go through the enemy's team even if the target is on the other side. With Liftoff, no enemy running low can ever hope to escape from Max the Wonderkind. Recall interrupted. Passive static shock. Every time Max damages an enemy, the enemy gets shocked, causing them to suffer true damage every second and have their health regeneration reduced. Static shock can be used together with Tome of the Reaper or Curse of Death's Soul prison effect, as this shuts down heroes that can heal quickly, such as Tara and L'Oreal. First ability, Bionic Blender. Max spins his robot arms around, dealing physical damage to enemies. Every time he hits an enemy, his movement speed will be increased. Bionic Blender's movement speed boost can be stacked. There are 2 ways of doing this. First way involves hitting multiple targets at once to gain a huge speed boost, while the second way is to reduce Bionic Blender's cooldown through items such as Spear of Longinus, using Bionic Blender to hit the enemy again before Max loses the movement speed boost. Second ability, Smooth Moves. Max rushes towards his target and flips over them, landing on their opposite side. Once on the other side, Max activates a magnetic force field that reduces his damage taken. This ability can be used again within 4 seconds. Smooth Moves is indeed a hidden dash ability, and Max can use it to hit targets and pass through certain obstacles. Watch out! Ultimate Liftoff. Max fires trackers that attach to all enemy heroes for a short time. The trackers allow allies to see the enemy's locations and interrupt enemy recall actions. While the trackers are active, Max can then select an enemy to track and ram into by holding down the ability button. Ramming into the enemy deals physical damage and knocks them back. If Max takes too long to select an enemy, then he will have to fire the trackers again. When Max lands, he activates a magnetic force field that reduces his damage taken, increases his resistance by 30%, and shocks all nearby enemies. Pressing the ability again while Max is tracking an enemy will cancel the attack, making Max land immediately and activate his force field. Max doesn't have to ram into the enemy every time when using Liftoff. If enemy heroes are sticking together and are tough to kill, then Max can tap Liftoff again to cancel it in order to avoid getting caught outnumbered. Want to become epic with Max? 1. Smooth Moves damage reduction will still be in effect on second activation. Use it again right after the first part to achieve maximum damage reduction. 2. Bionic Blender is Max's main damage dealer and minion wave clearer. It also has a very short cooldown, so always level up with this ability first, followed by Smooth Moves. and then level up his ultimate Liftoff whenever it is available. 3. Max is really good at chasing down the enemy. I mean really good at chasing them down. So he doesn't really need Flicker to initiate. However, he may lack the damage to finish off targets. So take Execute for that extra damage reach. 4. Liftoff can also be used as an escape tool. When Max is running low and being chased down, he can use Liftoff to ram into an enemy at another location. After he reaches a safe place, he can then cancel Liftoff to complete his escape. 5. Max should always pay attention to the mini-map. When he sees targets that are running low, he should get close and use Liftoff to finish them off. A common combo for Max is to first use Liftoff to charge forward. Follow it up with Smooth Moves for control, followed by Bionic Blender to deal damage. Continue the combo with Smooth Moves and normal attacks to complete the kill. The combo sequence is Ultimate plus second ability plus first ability plus second ability. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight. See you next time.
Our first quarterfinal ended with Allegiance walking away with yet again another victory, but we have plenty more matches for your viewing pleasure. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jump. I'm joined here with Sweejay. We have the match of all matches to bring to you today. It's going to be Team Upsala taking on One Trick. Playoffs are on the line. One Trick needing this victory if they want any opportunity to make it to E3 later next month.
Yeah, this is the most important game for Team One Trick, and they've been through a lot. They have been relegated. They've returned to the Valor Series. They made it to semifinals. This team has gone through a lot and has grown a lot, and this is their time to shine. But also is Upsala's time to shine because a lot is on the line for them as well.
Upsala is a team that we haven't seen play as often as what we had thought in a lot of instances because they have found themselves in very fortunate situations with a couple of DQs in a couple previous weeks, as well as some roster swaps and things of that effect. We haven't seen Upsala play as often as what we've seen teams like Dino Riders, Immortals, or even Allegiance here in North America. So it's going to be really intriguing to see how they're going to come up off the mark. But let's go ahead and break down their rosters. For Team Upsala is up first. It's going to be Zaxia, Verche, Flowery, Andy God, and God. Who are you looking for to hopefully shine today?
The key, I think, is the synergy with the Flowery and Verse, but Andy God, he's got to be able to land some key skill shots. I mean, on his Preda, he poison gas bombed the opponents away instead of towards his team to secure some kills. So I feel like his mechanics have to be on point for the team to perform well. And I feel like Flowery has a very strong jungle, especially on Zephyrs, and Verse and the rest of the team can rotate and put a lot of pressure, and it's going to come down to what Andy God is able to do on his mages.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at their opponent. It's going to be Team One Trick, a team that has faced all sorts of struggles and strife, but are looking to make it into playoff contention today. Bruticus, Zelf, Veyer, Always Green, and Dual Spirals. Names that we have seen pop up in various instances of the North American professional scene. But who is it that you're looking for today, Suijay?
Interesting thing is the same, actually, regarding Only God. They need to honestly land their abilities. Always Green misses his Lumber ultimate. They kind of rush their abilities too soon. They don't combo it. So I feel like mechanic-wise, both teams need to be on point. They need to execute and do it at the right time, because I feel like they rush their abilities too fast, and that's why they miss a lot of it. Like missing Zephy's ultimates, for example, that's something that can't happen when a game like this is that important to your standings to making playoffs.
Well, Suijay, you predicted yourself correctly with the 2-0 in Allegiance in the last setup. What are we looking at now? One Trick, Upsala. It is a little bit closer than what our last match was. Who are you expecting?
Yeah, I bet it on momentum. I was wrong with Team Royal because they lost to Nova, but with how Upsala has been performing and the momentum that they've been bringing, they have more of it coming into this match. I feel like One Trick has momentum as well, but not as powerful, because I'm making my bet mostly on Flowery and his support crew, Zaisha. They do such a good job together that I feel they'll take this series 2-0.
All right, well, you heard it here. What about you? Who are you feeling is going to win? Is it going to be Upsala? Is it going to be One Trick? Let us know in the Twitch chat. We will check in with you after the pick ban phase ends. Now, as players are getting themselves loaded into lobby for that pick ban phase to start, we saw what some of the priority bans were in games 1 and 2 with Allegiance in match number 1. What are you expecting from these two teams, seeing what players they have on their rosters?
Yeah, I feel like Teamy will be a priority. That's something that we see. Always Green not able to play Teamy, so I'd love to see him hopefully get Teamy. It'll give him a nice advantage, because he's played a lot of Lumber. He's played a lot of Thane. And again, rushing abilities. He used Thane's ultimate Excalibur too early in the fights and also completely missed the ultimate. So I feel like, you know, Thane isn't a strong hero in Always Green. He's playing a lot of Lumber. So I feel like One Trick is going to secure the Lumber. And on the side of Red here, they're going to ban Superman. They're going to ban Liliana. You know, the obvious first pick power heroes that we see often get taken if they don't get banned.
Teamy, Zenial, Superman, and as the second ban gets weighted down here by One Trick, it's going to be a Murad. Now, Murad, someone that we haven't seen create too much pressure over in Europe, has been a rising star in North America, someone that all of these teams are being very wary of.
The reason why specifically, though, it's banned against Upsala, because Flowery's Murad is one of the best in North America. So you guys have not seen it in the Valor series, but I was able to see it and look at his combat history. This guy is a monster on Murad. He's able to win in some key scrims against top teams when he is on this Murad. And that's why it's a target ban against him. As Malik is being banned here, we have Max open. We have also... Ooh, what? Ozenkar. I don't think they're going to pick that, but Max Omen is open. Those are some really good picks along with Ryoma, but they're going to actually go with the Tulin right off the bat.
Tulin being the first lock-in. Now, we've seen Tulin as a priority pick over in Europe. We saw that being first picked in an earlier match today, but now with One Trick having all sorts of options available, it's going to be the Ryoma as well as the Wonder Woman locked in for them as the one.
Yeah, they can pick Omen here. They can also pick Kilgroth, but Omen looks like the best pick along with Max. That's going to counter any kind of ADC pick that One Trick wants to pick. But with Omen not taken here, they can actually run Ryoma jungle and do Omen in the side lane here, and then just basically not play an ADC comp that Max is really good into. So let's see if One Trick's going to opt to do that. They're going to go for the Alice here. The thing that worries me about Alice is a very high skill cap hero. A lot of skill shots, especially her Sunshine and her Hissy Fit ultimates. So Always Green has to make sure he doesn't rush it and places it in perfect timing and position to land these Sunshine stuns. Now, with Alice being picked, an ADC looks really good right here. They need to pick... Oh, actually, they're not. They're going to go with a Kilgroth and a Lumber. So they're going to go with an all-engage into an all-engage here, which I think could work out for them. And Mina being picked here. I like Thane better than Mina into an Alice, because Thane offers so much engage potential against an Alice, and there's no front line there except for the Runner Woman. But Dual Spirals on L'Oreal, a good pick into Lubu, a Kilgroth as well.
Interesting lineups for both of these teams. One Trick finding themselves in some comfort picks that we've seen them play before. Now, I want to see how they're going to combat this in the mid lane. When you prioritize a mid laner as your first pick, not only is that an early strategy that you want to create, but is a comfort pick for the mid laner of Upsala. So I'm excited to see how the Tool and Yanni matchup really decides to play out, considering it was at the forefront of that Upsala strategy.
Yeah, that's going to see, I mean, what the key is, One Trick needs to win that early. You know, Alice can provide a little more crowd control with the Sunshine ability that she can stun. So they need to win early, but it's against a Tulin. It's really strong in the mid lane. So mid lane matchup, Upsala won. But jungle and side lane matchup, I feel like Ryoma and Wondering can do a lot of work in that early phase of the game.
Well, we want to go ahead and let you know that we are listening on Twitter. We are listening to what you have to say. Rest, the delightful support, the MVP of the last match, says, "Thank you, Toxic Pigs, for my favorite game of the Valor series thus far." Thank you for those kind words, and we enjoy it as well. It's always good to have a little friendly fun, and when you can have a Pure, a Maganga, and 480 carries pop up on a team, it's definitely something to make sure that we keep our eyes on. One Trick have found themselves 90% in favor. Upsala sitting at 10%. So One Trick looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Remember, they have to win this game or else all is lost for the One Trick chances of getting to E3. Game number 1 of our second quarterfinal here for week number 6 in North America starts now.
Yeah, I do like Tulin and Anigod here because Tulin is a lot easier to land skill shots. And look at that. They're able to predict Upsala in there. Lands a huge Wailing Blade stun into the enemy team. And as a result, both teams are going to back off and not engage. So Anigod, again, on Tulin. I really like because Tulin isn't a very high skill cap hero in terms of landing skill shots because Iron Blast, pretty straightforward. His Blink, pretty straightforward as well. And his ultimate is just click the hero that you want to hit. So I like the Tulin pick on Anigod, and I feel like they are able to minimize the skill shotting of Prada that we see Anigod kind of not be as proficient on.
Always Green going to find himself caught out just a little bit. However, the damage is not enough quite yet on Zaxia and Anigod to secure themselves that kill, but it will acquire just enough of a vision. Always Green, just as I say, that gets pulled in by Zaxia. Zelf being able to do a little bit of poke damage, juggling in between that jungle monster as well as the enemy team. Lots of scuffles off the mark thus far. Zaxi will find himself very low. The last tick of damage from Always Green is going to be enough, as it looks like First Blood goes over into the hands of One Trick.
Yeah, they got to be careful there. That was a 4v2 there, and Zaxia just needed to back off. Kind of put himself in out of position, and as a result, they lost the kill. However, One Trick is not converting that to any objective. You know, they can invade the jungle at that point and shut down and take the jungle from Flower, but instead they're just going to back off and go back to their farming, which I think is a huge miss for One Trick, because when someone dies there, especially at the close to 2-minute mark, you can abuse it and rotate to Sentinel or even set up to starve jungle out and get ahead.
So now 2 minutes into the game, we can see the Upsala members rotating towards the bottom side of the map. Abyssal Dragon being the ultimate desire of these two teams. Flowery finds himself taking the Seagull. Verche trying to help themselves out to get a little bit of extra vision of this One Trick team. Now, taking a look at this composition and how these first 5 minutes are going to play out, where are you expecting or how are you expecting this Mina pick in the early stages, early levels play out for their team?
Yeah, Mina can engage on Alice first, can taunt her, can use a Death Sith to pull her in there, and they can just kill Always Green, honestly, because normally the Alice is going to try to get vision and be overextended slightly, so they need to just get a pick on her. She has no mobility. She has Friendship as a way to increase her speed and get out, but look at Flowery there, going in there by himself, which is really dangerous for him.
A little bit too overzealous, but when the team is there to help, you're going to be finding yourself in a much better situation. However, he will end up taking a shield to the dome, as he's going to become Fresh Fish Sushi, as it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Zelf going down as well. One Trick unable to get themselves anything extra. Andigod catches out dual spirals. Always Green and Vey are going to have to be forced to move around to the opposite side of the map to safety. And so now with dual spirals down and the spawning just now happening of Zelf, it's going to have to be a Abyssal Dragon. But in the meanwhile, because of the rotation, Bruticus was able to take a tower in the top side.
Yeah, when Max flies across like that, this is why Omen is so good into Max. When he leaves his lane like that, it opens up the tower completely to Omen to easily push the lane and get a tower. And as a result, they trade Dragon for tower, which is not bad for both teams.
Abyssal Dragon has been taken. Now you see Bruticus taking the Spirit Sentinel for the side of One Trick. 7 5,000 gold. 200 gold separate these two teams, as it looks like we are seeing a much closer match. Actually, no, as close as we were anticipating. We knew that this was going to be an all against the wall. Both of these teams putting pedal to the metal as we have yet another scuffle in the bottom side of the map. Vare being forced to pop his ultimate to try to get himself to safety. Verche and Bruticus are trying to get themselves a little bit of a fight. Bruticus does have the advantage of levels, but when you have the teammate to help, you're going to be much happier all the same. Dual Spirals does not end up picking up that kill. They walk away safely as a nice little reset has happened for both teams.
Yeah, you can see Lubu can hold his own 1v1 versus Omen. It's pretty even for the most part, but Lubu, when he activates his Conqueror, is going to win in that 1v1 damage output and trading there because his ultimate gives him so much sustain, so much magic resistance as well. And look at this rotation by One Trick. 4-man rotation into jungle there.
So now we find ourselves in a situation where Upsala has to make a decision. Where are they going to go and how are they going to be more proactive? Because as it stands, One Trick has done a fantastic job of reallocating their resources across the various parts of the map, but now it's a reallocation of Upsala into kills. Bruticus and Always Green end up going down. Flowery will fall as well to Zelf, but all the while that is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Upsala. And with 25 seconds left remaining on the Abyssal Dragon, it looks like they can posture towards that bottom side of the map.
Yeah, that was such an unfortunate face check there for Always Green. Again, Alice is so squishy. Walked into the bush, immediately got CC'd. And look at that, building enchanted kicks. So Alice is going to be more of a backline support here, not a tank. So face checking as Alice is actually super dangerous because of the magic pierce and magic ability damage that you're building on the Alice here. So you got to play more backline. You got to kind of test the bush, hit some sunshine abilities into there and see if the opponent is going to respond.
So now we find Zaxia in a rough situation, finding herself at below 20% HP. Gonna have to be forced to recall the upgraded boots being purchased there by God to help him move around the map a little bit. Max, an individual that we haven't seen yet really much at all today here in the Valor Series, hasn't been able to create his pressure across the map, but as a result now we're finding Abyssal Dragon being taken down by Zelf as the scuffle continues to happen towards the bottom side of the tower. Always Green picks up that kill yet again onto Flower. Andy God being first to back away. He's going to be able to pop his ultimate, but it's not going to matter as God picks the kill up onto Zelf. God will end up using his ultimate to try to get to the back line, but with the tower to defend them, One Trick is going to walk away safely.
Yeah, I like what they did there. They switched Max to the Dragon lane, and Omen is now facing Lubu, and that's such a smart lane trade there. Instead of having the Max get countered by Omen, they put Max in the Dragon side, winning Dragon side of the map, and as a result, getting a nice advantage here. And Omen can't really push a tower against a Lubu because they're, for the most part, even because it's more of a skill matchup. However, that last fight was critical because Kilgraf, Flowery, went in too aggressive. He is trying to go in too aggressive, and as a result, being punished for it so badly. But Upsala is able to turn it around with these engages.
God is going to end up falling. Will get caught out by One Trick. Unfortunate situation for them. So despite the back and forth, Upsala finding some advantageous positioning in these little scuffles, One Trick has still acquired themselves a 1,500 gold lead at just over the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, this is going to be huge. And now One Trick, they need to abuse it. They need to start shutting down jungle, get more objectives, secure more dragons. It's 1-to-1 in dragons and 1-to-1 in towers. However, they have a nice gold lead, which they now need to get some picks, push some more objectives, and just punish Flowery. I mean, just bait Flowery to go in, because Flowery is very trigger happy in this game. He wants to just go in and fight. Look at it, he's doing the same thing over again right now.
It's a fight, fight, fight mentality for Flowery as him and the rest of his team decide to fight here for One Trick, but numbers advantage is in their favor as Andy God finds himself very low. God, in the meanwhile, goes himself into the backside, finds himself way too close under the tower. Not going to be working out in his favor. Dual Spirals is able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Vare is going to find himself in a rough spot. 2 members have fallen for Upsala. The benefit of the tower is there.
Oh, wow.
Dual Spirals barely coming out with his life, but Upsala not having any sort of coordination on these fights.
Yeah, they got to be careful. I mean, the Max God went in there underneath the tower, under 4 people. Ryoma then stunned him under tower, and he was instantly deleted. However, for somehow, Upsala still gets ahead in that fight. And look at Andy got here. He gets outplayed by Dorsbar. However, A is going to be able to secure the kill, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
The 1-for-1 trade happens. Now, I've got to beg the question because the question needs to be begged, Suijay. We are at almost 9 minutes into this game. As these trades are happening back and forth, assuming that this trend of trading continues, who are you having the advantage in the late game as we see Verche falling there to Vare?
Yeah, what a nice bracelet submission stun there onto Lulubu, securing the kill. And now as a result, they're going to rush the Darkslayer. So One Trick, if they get Darkslayer, that's going to give them so much map control over the next minute and a half while that Darkslayer buff is up.
Darkslayer is going to end up going down immediately in favor of One Trick. Flowery finds himself getting caught out yet again. That is not where one of you to be, good sir. You might be a flower, but this is not your pot to grow in. Zaxia will end up falling as well. Always green, sticking to his name set as the members of One Trick find themselves in yet again another victory. 3,000 gold in their advantage, but more importantly, Darkslayer in their hands.
I'm trying to understand when Darkslayer is taken, the game tells you the Darkslayer is taken. They still try to face check the bush, check what's going
Surprise!
on. Hey, is the Darkslayer there still? It's just taken, apparently. And as a result, 4v2 with the Darkslayer buff instantly deleted, and this puts them very much more behind. And right now, Upsala isn't playing like they used to. Their momentum is completely lacking now, and they're making some very questionable plays that I feel it's costing them so much in this game.
10 minutes into the game, 5-kill advantage, but more importantly, it's the objectives that have put One Trick ahead and away. 5,000 gold is their advantage, and as we mentioned, this is one of the most, if not, no, this is the most important match thus far of the Valor Series for them. One Trick needs to secure this win over Upsala to have an opportunity to get themselves into the top 4, but more importantly, getting themselves the ticket booked to E3 next month.
Yeah, this is so critical. So much on the line, and, you know, the mistakes are going to cost you so much. One mistake, 2 mistakes, it leads to tower, it leads to jungle, it leads to another tower, and as soon as you know it, you're behind almost 6K in gold. That's just significant advantage for One Trick now, and this is going to be very, very hard for Upsala to come back in the game.
Upsala, another member, finds himself caught out yet again. To give you a nice variant on the quote that you just mentioned, Suijay, it's 1 mistake, 2 mistake, 3 mistake floor, and that's where Upsala is finding themselves right now as One Trick is stampeding all over their efforts. Andy God is able to pick up that kill onto Zelf as well as Vare, and so just as I say that, Upsala makes me eat my words as the double kill comes out for God. The double stun comes out for One Trick. They're going to walk away safely, but they still get themselves a tower on the bot side.
Very nice stuns there by Always Green. He's landing his Alice skill shots really well there, stunning at the right moment, and as a result, able to save his team and escape there. But that was a very decisive engage by Upsala. They need to do exactly what they just did here. Even with the Darkslayer buff, they won that fight and was able to take down one member of One Trick. If they continue to fight this way, there's a lot of hope for this team to come back in this game alive.
Verche is able to pick up that kill onto Always Green. They're able to take a tower in the mid side as well. Dual Spirals finds himself in a rough spot, so he's going to have to be forced to back away. Bruticus as well, as he finds himself behind 20% HP. 5 members are in the middle of the map. They do not have a minion wave, but Upsala finding themselves a little bit of life blown back into their sails as they find themselves still down, however, 3,500 gold to One Trick.
Yeah, this is a nice play, though. They're able to take jungle. They're able to close that gold deficit from 6,000 to 3,000. So this is not what One Trick wants here. And now what Upsala needs to do is just get it nice engaged. It needs just need to fight together. Exactly what they did at the tier 3 or high ground tower at top lane. What they did there was huge. Not going alone. Flowery, back off. Stop going in alone as Killgrod. Trying to be the solo hero and instead becomes the martyr. So they got to be careful. As long as they fight together and they combo their abilities, they have a really good chance, because the key is Mina's ultimate. They need to use that Dark Dominion to bait and taunt and then kill the heroes that are stuck onto Mina because of that taunt. And if they can do that, they can turn these fights easily around for them.
13 minutes, Abyssal Dragon has been started here by Upsala, but the members of One Trick are waiting in the wind, hopefully seeing if they can capitalize on a mistake of Upsala. As close as the game is right now, despite the fact that there is a 5,000 gold lead in favor of One Trick. One mistake, Suijay. One mistake is all it takes from either one of these teams, a bad fight to happen. If multiple members go down, there is enough pushing power on both sides for them to potentially look to end the game. Advantage, however, is in favor of One Trick, as Upsala has only taken 2 towers, none of them being inner towers, and so they're going to have to go through an extra wave of defenses before those high ground towers become a possibility to go down.
Yeah, this is where they need to do some nice rotations here. Play on their tower protected, check on the dragon. Looks like they're going to give up a tower, but One Trick is going to take this dragon here. But Upsala gets a tower, so it's a decent trade for both sides. Versa needs to get out here because he's going to be in big trouble.
You're going to have the Abyssal Dragon going down in favor of One Trick, so Bruticus being able to pick that one up. Verche going to have to be very careful, as he's going to have to be forced to walk away. But with multiple members on the bottom side of the map, this gives an opportunity for Upsala to push towards the top. They're going to secure themselves that inner tower on the top side, which is going to open up the doors for the high ground here for the top side of One Trick's base. They're going to secure themselves a couple extra little goodies in the jungle that is One Trick's, push up themselves some waves, and wait for the dragon, or for the Dark Slayer that will be spawning in 35 seconds.
Not bad. 2 towers for an Abyssal Dragon and a tower. Mostly an even trade. However, the gold lead is only 3K difference now, and Upsala has a chance to come back in. They cannot underestimate One Trick, because obviously One Trick came here to play. He got to be careful here, because Omen, with that lockdown ability, they have to save whoever Omen locks down, because if they back off and run away and Omen locks down one of their heroes, Upsala has to fight and counter-engage. However, L'Oreal's ultimate is going to do so much damage in this composition because it's mostly a melee composition.
One Trick tries to get themselves a little bit of a cheeky play in the Pixel Brush, but they do just enough to catch up the members of Upsala. This is the moment that One Trick was looking for. It was a catch-out, but more importantly, it was a synchronization of the team fights to know when exactly they needed to go in. God does his best to get to the back line, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have any kind of support. Verche is sitting at 100% HP, but that's because the rest of his team was dead before he had an opportunity to join the fight. And so now, with 4 members down, all 5 left alive for One Trick, as well as a wave pushing in. I don't know if there's anything
yeah, this
that
is going to be game here, and that was such a bad mistake. They're getting caught out. They have to initiate first with the Mina comp. As a result, they let Mina get focused first, and they just blew Mina up, and now this is going to be One Trick's game. GG to One Trick.
Said it once and I'll say it again. 1 mistake, 2 mistake, 3 mistake floor. One Trick staying true to their logo, stampeded through the Upsala defenses in game number 1 and walk away with a victory, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, they definitely came here to play. Team One Trick came here to make a statement that they want to be a part of this top 4. They punished the multiple mistakes from Upsala, kind of underestimating Team One Trick. Again, both teams have momentum, and now One Trick has gained that momentum and upper hand against Upsala.
And so now, as we've seen, it was quite the back and forth throughout the entirety of this match. There were a lot of instances where it's disheartening for Upsala, because despite being behind a couple thousand gold, 2,000 gold is an overcomable deficit. This isn't something that they did not have the opportunity to come back on, but it seemed that for every 1 good move that Upsala made, they were making 2 mistakes, and a lot of it revolved around getting caught out.
Yeah, and he got using Max's liftoff ultimate to dive underneath a tower and 4 people, but Upsala still turned that fight around, so it showed that their team fight power is actually better as long as they fight together. But One Trick, always green, played really well in the Alice. He had a lot of great sunshine stuns that locked down some characters and allowed his team to focus that. But Upsala, again, Kilgroth, Flowery going in alone, 1v4, 2v4. He's got to be careful and wait for his team. And I feel like you underestimate One Trick, then you get punished, and that's exactly what happened against Upsala.
What I also want to highlight for One Trick is the fact that we don't get to highlight a lot of teams that have the ability to look for picks in the earlier stages, but the patience to get these picks is exactly what Upsala was able to, or what One Trick was able to do to win themselves this game.
Yeah, this is key here. They land the Sunshine out. They rush in there. Another stun for Yomo comes out, and a perfect Alice ultimate. Zaisha has no chance. Has to activate the ultimate because it reduces damage 50%, and then as a result, they are fighting a lost cause. As soon as Zaisha died, they just needed to back off. The fight is over. Just get out. And now Max continues to go in. God goes in for no reason here. There's no reason to go in this point. You're just feeding the enemy team and securing your demise. And that's exactly what Upsala did. The shot calling and the decision making has been very, very questionable for Upsala the entire game. So this is something they definitely need to clean up because their mistakes, 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, lose is basically what's happening.
You changed my quote. They went from lose to floor. But they're synonymous in this instance if you take a look at the result of that last game. Now, you say communication and their team fight execution needs to be something that can change. Where does this change? Do you feel that it's something more of maybe a bickering between the team or the lack of a true shot caller to give that final say at the end of the day?
It's just team awareness, mini-map awareness. Why are you going in when your team is not with you and you see 4 people? Flowery just went in. Again, another rotation by Flowery and Zaisha, checking on Darkslayer. The game tells you Darkslayer is taken. There's no reason to go there. Obviously, your opponents will be there because they literally just took the Darkslayer. Run away. They walk into a 4v2 and get immediately deleted. And as a result, that Darkslayer was very valuable to One Trick because they took 2 kills and additional towers. And from there, it just went downhill.
So now One Trick, despite their macro advantages that they had in map rotations as well as moving as a unit, still found themselves giving up 11 deaths and dragging that game up longer than what I think you and I expected them to go once they established themselves that lead. We know what the problems are for Upsala. What are some ways that One Trick can tighten up the ship a little bit more, prevent from any sort of leakage so they can have smooth sailing in game 2?
Yeah, I think they need to be more aggressive. I feel like they're kind of passive aggressive. They're engaging and backing off. Once they need to play exactly how they did that very last fight they won in the game. Alice stun, Ryoma stun, Alice ultimate, a follow-up stun. That's exactly how they want to play. Just combo and focus. And because of their combo and because of their focus, they're winning and getting these nice picks as a result, winning the game.
To the credit of both of these teams, however, it is every fight down to the wire. We're going to see in our second replay that we have for you, these health bars are low, low, low as we have this here in the earlier stages.
Yeah, look at Flower. He's going in by himself there. The team is on him. It's 1v4 at this point. No one is trading damage with him. Alice able to drop her ultimate. Then now they have to back off. And Anti-God is low. If Anti-God is low, you don't want to be aggressive. You want to be careful. And look at that. God coming in there. I don't know what the decision was there or the call, but he goes there and gets killed. But however, they turn this round in front because Anti-God gets a beautiful Ion Blast into the entire enemy team, and then Kilgarth and Zaisha get so much damage on top of that. And then Anti-God is able to do much more damage from the backline, getting that kill on Alice, and as a result, winning that fight because of the AoE damage he did on Tulin.
And so now it has been quite the interesting journey for Upsala and One Trick thus far. Remember, this is the decider match for One Trick. If they want to keep their top 4 playoff hopes alive, they have to win this match against Upsala. Dino Riders being the third variable that you have to consider. Now, Dino Riders having a much safer spot coming in number 3. One Trick needing to secure themselves not only the quarterfinals win, but they also are going to have to get through the semifinals if they want an opportunity to make it to the number 4 slot. But unfortunately, or fortunately in some instances, they have to get through Upsala first. And being up 1-0 and seeing some of these members that we know can step up has certainly helped them thus far.
Yeah, that's definitely the case for One Trick. They got to make it past the semifinals and get enough points because Upsala, they did a good job. They played more consistently over the Valor Series. And this is a team that actually got relegated like One Trick and came back and just performed time after time with a few roster updates. And Flowery is the key of that team. I feel like when he does really well and he engages and his team is right behind him, they're a team that just shines. So I think that they need to be more patient. They need to wait for each other, and they need to go in together because if you can't combo abilities together, that's not team fighting. And I feel like they're 1-2 fighting, and then another 2 show up after the first 2 die, and then 2 more die, and it's a really lost cause after that.
It's a really lost cause. But we've been talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4 mistakes that Upsala unfortunately had. Well, those mistakes might have been a little bit one too many, as one of our players might have to get some water to help himself, get a little bit better. We are waiting on one of those Upsala players. Jokes aside, we don't actually know if he's getting water. Don't hold us to that. But all jokes aside, let's take a look at the hero options that you have for both of these teams. We saw no one perform so well that warranted an immediate target ban, but considering the prioritization explicitly with that Tulin in game number 1, what are we expecting for game 2 now that One Trick is going to find themselves on the blue side?
Yeah, I was very surprised that Flash was not picked, actually. Flash was up, and he could have been a really solid pick into either side of the competition. However, L'Oreal worked really well because, again, Kilgroth, Lubu, she is so good and shines in that matchup because against melee bruisers that are, building a little tanky, L'Oreal really shines because of her Divine Punishment passive. It does true damage, and she can just jump and blink all over any melee hero. And without an ADC on the Upsala side in their composition, L'Oreal just shines in the late game. We saw that exactly happen. Mina gets caught, even though she's tanky, it doesn't matter. L'Oreal's going to be able to slow her and hit her so much. And they just killed Mina as a frontline. And I felt like Mina was a bad draft as well. I didn't like the Mina pick. I felt like Thane would have been much better into an Alice composition. And hopefully they're going to change it up and not pick Mina.
Well, it looks like Mina is an option that we have that wants to potentially get taken off the table. Suijay thinks that Flash needs to be something. But what about you? What are you thinking? Make sure you head over to Twitter, use the hashtag Valor Series, because each and every moment we have beautiful people, very beautiful people. I know the beautiful man that's sitting in that back that's looking at your tweets and hoping and praying. Pear Bear wants to see you on the Valor Series, and we do too. So make sure you use the hashtag Valor Series and let us know your predictions of the match, as well as everything else that you have to offer. Maybe even an Envirum is watching from wherever he may be in the world. You will see him on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. So, players getting logged in, almost in the lobby. We apologize for the delay, everyone. So now we've covered all the bases. We've covered communication. We've covered hero select. We've covered essentially composition for a lot of these. What about these early game executions for both of these teams as we come into this game?
Yeah, I love how One Trick is camping the bush. They're much more patient, I feel. They're waiting for the team to be together, and they're making plays. One thing that Upsala can punish is Always Green likes to give his team vision. And they were able to get a key gank in the early part of the game when Alice face-checked the bush. So that's what they need to do. They need to abuse the tendency of these players, turn that into forced errors, and then convert that to objectives or more kills. And that's the key. They're going to go ahead and ban a Maraud, targeting Flowery again. Go ahead and take the Superman off. And so far, the drafts are looking pretty good. I like One Trick, though. They're target banning away a power pick of Upsala because Flowery has such an amazing Maraud. I just wish you guys could see it, but unfortunately it's going to be banned away, which is a respect to him.
A respect indeed, as you have Maraud, Wonder Woman, Superman, and wondering what the second ban for Upsala is going to be. Remember, we're going to say it, and we're going to say it again. One Trick needs to secure themselves this win to find themselves having any opportunity to get into the regional finals and that top 4 slot. Liliana being the next ban away. We have plenty of options for the last 2 bans. We've got Zenial, you've got Malik, Omen could potentially even be an option despite the
Omen
fact that...
Roma should be banned, I feel. I mean, they are a key part. And look at it, they're going to take Lubu off the map. They changed their draft a little bit here. That leaves Zenial, Malik as really nice picks that are open. Ryoma could be a ban here because I think One Trick will probably first pick actually Teamy. Teamy is going to be open. So let's see if they're going to ban a side laner or they're going to leave Teamy open and give Teamy over to One Trick because he's such a good support. Instead, they're going to take Zeno off the map and now Teamy is open. So are they going to prize Ryoma here, Teamy here, or oh, they're going to take Malik instead, which leaves Teamy open for Upsala. They can take Teamy Tulin, and that will be a very, very solid pickup draft for Upsala. So let's see if they're going to realize that Teamy's open and take him.
Oh, they're not. It's going to be the Tulin, which was priority in game number 1, as well as that Ryoma. So that leaves Teamy open on the table. One Trick being able to quickly...
Yeah, Omen is open, Teamy is open, so Omen, Teamy look like
I wouldn't be surprised
a pretty good pick. They're going to get Max here and probably pick up the Teamy here, because if they don't pick Teamy, the thing about Max is Omen's open, so if they take Max, Omen can be picked on the side to counter him. But teams can work around that. They can switch lanes and have the Max not face the Omen, and that we go. Omen's going to be picked up here. And I feel like they need to secure like a nice another jungler that can die. Maybe Zephyrs. Let's put Flower and Zephyrs. Oh, but wow, they're going to go straight for such a strong early composition against One Trick here.
Ormar as well as Omen gets picked up for Upsala. Teamy, as we mentioned, in the Max being picked up in round 2. Now the Flash becomes a hover here for One Trick, as it looks like they need to find themselves a jungler as well. Lindis and Yanni are being picked up here by One Trick. A solid effort by them. Now, we haven't seen as much Lindis today thus far as what we've been hoping to see. Lindis, I know, is someone that you've said in a lot of instances is a rising force in that jungle.
Yeah, she is. She can rotate jungle so fast with her speed. And Zephyrs, I really like this. So they have to win early game because, again, L'Oreal late game is going to destroy that composition in the late game. That's 4 melee heroes that want to pile on top of each other, and L'Oreal is going to shine. So in these team fights, if they get to late game, they have to kill L'Oreal first. Otherwise, she's going to do too much damage as the mage because she counters her competition late game. But if they can snowball early game, deny jungle, shut it down, then Upsala looks really good.
Well, we took a look at our list apart from execution to the early game. In this specific instance, we have hero select and composition / win conditions in sort of the same realm. Who are you looking that came out ahead here in this pick?
I think Upsala has such a strong early game. They need to execute. I like the Zephyrs on Flowery. Flowery Zephyrs is something that you need to not underestimate. He plays it very proficiently and aggressively, so I'd love to see if he goes in and plays aggressively. Team Upsala needs to be right behind him. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But you have a lot of CC. Omar stun, Omen Death's Embrace, Rioma stun. You have Zephyrs Death from above. That's a lot of combos that they can do to really secure these kills against One Trick.
Well, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The picks have been decided for game number 2. This is going to be quite the interesting match as Upsala has to secure themselves a Game 2 win to send it to game number 3. One Trick needing the Game 2 victory to send their playoff chances and keep them alive. Don't forget to tweet at us with the hashtag Valor Series, checking up all the action, all the excitement at all times. But with that, as you can see, they're loaded onto the battlefield, and it's time for game number 2 of Valor Series North America, quarterfinal number 2, One Trick versus Upsala.
Yeah, Upsala needs to make sure they invade here. They have Rioma, so they need to try to deny jungle because they're so much stronger than One Trick. But look at One Trick's defensive posturing there. Really good job there. L'Oreal's going to help clean the wave, but as a result, Tulane is going to get level 2 first, and this is where they need to be aggressive here. They need to get an always green, but instead, they're not going to play aggressive, and they need to. Hopefully the next rotation, Upsala is going to make some plays in jungle, because if they allow One Trick to just farm up, it's going to be a really much tougher game for them because Omar needs to win early game. Literally, that's the only reason why you pick him.
Patience is not the name of the game for Upsala. They are traveling in a pack, and they need to make sure that they strike because if not, One Trick scaling, as you mentioned, is going to put them in a much better position as we get to the later stages of this game. Zaxia and Always Green find themselves in a little bit of a back and forth, but all the meanwhile, no one's going to go down. Bruticus will get collapsed upon on the bottom side of the map, but thankfully, he has the power of his tower to help him defend a little bit longer. A minute and a half now. You have a little bit of an invade coming out here. Flowery tries to go in onto dual spirals. It's not going to be enough. They're going to be forced to disengage, and yet again, another unsuccessful attempt at being aggressive.
Yeah, they got to play a little more sneaky. Come from the bush, you know. Rioma, when his stun, his Willing Blade stun comes out of nowhere from the bush, it is devastating. Allows for really, really nice ganks, and we saw that happen in EU. We saw that happen with Allegiance when they have Rioma. So they gotta be able to maximize his early game along with Omar. That's a double stun. That's huge in early game. So they need to be very, very strategic with how they play this.
2 minutes into the game, which means that Abyssal Dragon, the one everyone loves to capture in the earlier stages of these games, will find himself the target. But in the meanwhile, actually, I stand corrected because Zelf will be the first blood being taken. Always Green is going to fall as well. That's a double kill coming onto Flowery. Dual Spiral is being forced now to flicker over the wall, but Zaxia is going to follow him. Just enough of a stun to keep himself back, and he got picked up that kill. So that's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of Upsala.
Yeah, that was such a huge rotation. Look at Omen losing against a Max, which is very interesting, but that rotation in that combo, that's exactly how Upsala needs to play. Omar went in there, got a 2-man stun, Roma then got a huge value because they were bunched up, got so much value from his auto attack, hitting multiple people, and then landing a huge multiple party Wailing Blade hit as well. That resulted in them decisively winning that trade, and now look at that. They're well over 1K gold lead, and they need to keep this up and continue to starve out One Trick.
Upsala secures themselves a Abyssal Dragon as well as 3 kills to boot. Great effort for them in the first 3 minutes of the game. You said they needed to be aggressive, Suijay, and that's exactly what's happening right now, as it looks like Upsala have secured themselves a 1,000 gold lead, an amicable place to be at just over the 3-minute mark. And so now One Trick having to stop the bleeding a little bit. It's not quite yet a mortal wound. It is but a flesh wound, something that they can easily recover from, but it's going to take patience as well as a denial of Upsala resources, as now we see 3 members on the top side add in Verche to the top, and that's going to be 4. They're going to force Fair to back away, always green unable to help as well, and that's going to be tower number 1 in favor of Upsala.
Yeah, what a nice job there. And I like that, you know, I thought Flower was going to play Zephyrs, but he's on this Roma. He's doing a really good job. He's waiting for his team. And that's exactly how you want to play Roma. And look at this engage here. They have to back up, but Always Green is kind of out of position here. He's got to be very careful. Zephyrs can rotate onto him and land a stun and get a huge, huge pick here.
That's going to be a little bit of a knock-up. Bia Bro's going to have to be forced to come through, but I don't even think actually he had enough to be able to pop that off, as now the kills are going to be coming through. An ultimate coming out of Bruticus to try to help out the fray. Zaxi is going to get healed up, but is it going to be enough to defend? No. Dual Spirals will end up picking up that kill. Zelf in the meanwhile is auto attack. After auto attack, the stun's going to happen, but it's not going to matter, as you're going to have Flowery fall in the meanwhile. God is the next on the list, as Dual Spirals, Bruticus, and Zelf are coming into the backline. Double kill for the Lindis. So just like that, it was an effort by Upsala, but One Trick strikes back.
That was such a misplay there. Really nice ultimate from Dual Spirals there. L'Oreal doing so much damage, turn up her smite, and you can see why she is so good in this competition. She has so much AoE damage. However, Zephyrs landed his Death from Above onto Teamy and got the kill in Always Green, but he missed it following up with the L'Oreal. I felt like he should have gone up and tried to save Flowery instead. But Flowery gets deleted by Lindis, and as a result, the fight is lost because of this split focus. If you're playing a dive comp, you need to dive the same target. You need to protect the same target. So if Upsala continues to make these mistakes, it's going to be a really hard game for him to come back, because right now they just handed the lead over to One Trick.
Fire is going to get himself caught up by 3 members of Upsala. Dual Spirals is going to try to help, but he's going to go, you know what? Nope, I don't want any part of this. And he's going to end up walking away, as the Max will end up falling. Now a 4-5 lead, or for a 4-5 advantage for Upsala. So Verche, meanwhile, One Trick allows him to take this tower uncontested. He flickers over the wall. They're not going to be able to chase, and so One Trick getting caught with their pants down and a tower taken on the top side.
Yeah, 2 towers taken. What a beautiful rotation for Upsala. Verse did so well in Omen there. He used Death's Embrace to lock down Vare, kill the Max, rotated and took the tier 2 top tower, and then his team rotated to take mid tower. This is looking really solid for Upsala right now. They need to keep up this pressure, and it's he misses his Death from Above. That's really, really bad for Zephyrs here, and then he's gonna fall and lose. And that's something you cannot do. I talked about this for both teams. You cannot miss your skill shots, because that's a win condition for you to win.
And so now a team fight breaks out. Dual Spirals is trying to bob and weave in the fight. A double kill happens for Zelf. Gold going into the hands of the Lindis is everything that One Trick wants. Dual Spirals being able to pick gold into his pocket as well. Andy God will find himself very low. The Pooty Pooch is going to get the stun. A big boop and a dead is going to result. Andy God goes down.
Yeah, that was such a nice fight back and forth there. However, the key was, hey, God missed his ultimate. So you need to all go in, but instead he got knocked out first. L'Oreal had her ultimate up. Why are you fighting L'Oreal with her ultimate up? If Dual Spirals uses the ultimate, you need to back off, because if you don't CC the L'Oreal and kill her immediately, she's going to do so much damage against your team. So they need to understand what their win condition is. And as a result, because God missed his ultimate, they just back off. Don't bleed, don't give an advantage further, because if you follow up a lost cause, you're going to cause more lost causes, and it's going to work against your advantage.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do make it right, if you think about it, that logic. However, those wrongs are not turning into rights, unfortunately, for Upsala, if they have found themselves in a rough situation. 1,000 gold lead, though, is only the deficit that they have to climb. That will get increased quite a bit as Abyssal Dragon goes down into their favor. Nope, I stand corrected. It's going to be still roughly at about that 3,000 mark. 7.5 minutes into this game. 3 towers are in favor of Upsala as Bear gets caught out yet again. It is the series of catch-outs. Both One Trick now and Upsala have been finding themselves out alone with no one to help.
Yeah, Omen again, Verse doing such a good job carrying his team here. That Omen ultimate locked down the Max, couldn't run away, nice rotation. However, they need to take Darkslayer. They need to do something here. I don't know why they're waiting in that bush because they have the advantage.
It's a wait.
However,
It's
this might
only
work
8
out.
minutes in the game. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. They're going to try to see if they can get something. A stun comes out for Flowery, but it's not going to be enough because Bruticus was the only one that had an ultimate when Bruticus has ended up being whiffed as the members of Upsala were able to dodge that out efficiently. Now the fight is split completely across the map. You've got 3 members of Upsala on the other side. Zelf ends up getting revived by the Being a Bro, and so now One Trick's turn to strike back. Bruticus is on the back line. God is being forced to walk away. Zaxi is trying to get himself some sort of maneuvering, but it's not going to matter as Zelf ends up picking up that kill. The health bars of Upsala are very low. They're going to have to be forced to disengage, and so what started as a surprise attack was countered immediately by One Trick, and a kill goes in their pockets.
Yeah, that was very, I don't know who they were focusing there. I don't know what happened in that fight, but we almost started with the Willing Blade stun. Got 2 stuns, but Zephyrs, where are you? Where is your death from above? Zaida, where is your Omar coming in there, getting another stun? What are you guys doing? Combo your stun, work together, focus the L'Oreal. Because L'Oreal did not die that fight, they split their focus and lost the team fight. And now as a result, One Trick gets Darkslayer, and it's not looking good for Upsala.
One Trick secures Darkslayer, as you mentioned, increasing their gold lead to almost 2,000 now. While they've only secured themselves 1 tower, that is bound to change as the Darkslayer buff will allow them to push these towers all the easier, making life all the better for One Trick as they are just 1 game away, Sweej, from securing a spot in the semifinals, but more importantly, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, this is coming to late game, and they are winning now, and this is not what Upsala wanted. Really good job from Team One Trick here, doing what they had to do. And look at the engage there. He's going to jump onto the Omen instead. That's very interesting. But Zaisha's going to get caught out. He's going to fall right there. Look at Annie, got the damage and burst coming down.
Zelf is 7-1-2 at the 10-minute mark. That is 100% kill participation. If you're any time in a situation where the gold needs to be pumped into the most important members, Zelf was the target for One Trick, and they have done just that. He has 7,500 gold, eclipsing almost 2,000 gold above every other member of Upsala's roster. And so now One Trick, with the Darkslayer buff that they still have at their disposal, take not 1, take not 2, but 3 towers in the mid lane, securing a high ground tower. No kills have gone down quite yet. Always Green finds himself low. He will end up falling, however, Being a Bro not being available. He is a solo man himself as the rest of his team will back off, but 3 towers in the hands of One Trick.
Yeah, that was huge for them. What a nice push there. However, they are able to get, Upsala are able to get 2 kills, but One Trick playing really well, playing aggressive. Really nice Malik ultimate from Bruticus there. He's able to zone out the team for him to secure that tower. And now they're going to rotate and get the dragon here. Even though they had 2 deaths, they're going to get the dragon, but they're going to catch out dual spirals and secure the kill. Now this is Upsala's chance to get back in the game, push the lane, get some jungle farm, and get back into the lane and decrease their gold deficit.
Another member of Upsala ends up catching out another member of One Trick. This is a consistent trend that we have unfortunately seen in both of these games thus far here for the Valor Series, something that they're going to have to fix up if they want a chance to win into the semifinals. Zelf, the one member of One Trick that did not need to go down, ends up falling before the fight even begins. Now you're seeing the kite back out of Upsala. It is a massive form of chaos in the middle of this team fight. There's nothing that either one of these teams can do. The health bars rock low, but it is Valor that ends up going down. All 5 members of Upsala are left alive.
Yeah, that was a good fight for One Trick because L'Oreal was not in that fight. If L'Oreal was in that fight, One Trick would have decisively won that. And look at the damage, and they're bunching up. Malik is just getting so much value from his cleaves. He does true damage to the enemy team. So Upsala, they gotta be very careful. Again, they need to combo. They have so many stuns in their kit. Zephy's death from above. Omar has a stun. He can proc actually 2 stuns with his passive and his ability there. And then Flowery has a Willing Blade stun. So I feel like if they don't combo, there's no way I see Upsala winning here because One Trick is doing such a good job, counter engages and counter-engaging, capitalizing on the mistake of Team Upsala.
But they have to keep their positioning in order. Both Dual Spirals and Zelf have found themselves caught out in unfortunate situations. And if there is any member on the entirety of One Trick, two rather, that do not need to get caught out, it is both of those heroes. Always green. Teamy is a fantastic hero. Teamy has been a priority pick ban throughout both Europe and North America every single week. But at the end of the day, you can only be a bro to one person. And Always Green does not want to have to waste that on someone getting caught out. Wants that for the higher priority in these team fights, as 2,000 gold separate these two teams. One Trick with the lead, 13 minutes. And it looks like the vision is going to be acquired. Bear is going to get stunned up, but now the scuffle on the bottom side of the map happens. Always Green is trying to come to do his best to help the team. Bear, though, ends up picking the kill onto Zaxia. Andy God finds himself at 25% HP. God will end up getting swiped away very quickly from the side of One Trick. And so just like that, a double kill for Bear. Two members have fallen. Valor finds himself in a rough spot. It's not going to be enough to get the kill. And as I stand that, he just decides to come back. Verche is lurking on the outside. Here comes Zelf to join the fray, though. It's all the damage of the carry that is helping out these members. 1, 2, no, death. Flowery goes down. Zest will be able to pick up that kill. And the speed up comes out from Zelf to try to help themselves out. Andy God, unfortunately, isn't going to go down quite yet. Will successfully be able to jump away, but 3 members have been lost for Upsala.
Yeah, even though Upsala's getting the engage, they're losing these fights so badly. And it's because One Trick, again, Omar is being focused and getting blown up. And look at he has War Boots, attack speed, and I feel like she should have built a lot more tanky. He doesn't have that much magic defense, and as a result, L'Oreal is doing so much damage against him, and the ability damage that he's getting is resulting in Omar just disappearing from the fights too fast. And also, he's level 12, so I feel like, again, they need to combo these abilities and CC, because they're not able to delete someone. Right? If they cannot delete a team of One Trick right off the bat, they're going to lose every single fight. And right now, the team fighting has been really, really rough for Upsala.
Not much else that Upsala can do right now, as One Trick has continued their assault. Tier 2 in the bot lane of the map. Remember, super minions are still coming down on the middle, so they're always going to have somebody to clear. Verche is nowhere near the team. He needs to be here for the defense, because the high ground towers are going down on the bottom side of the map. You're having some sort of defense, but it's not going to be enough. God goes down. Zaxia goes down. There's no one left available for the defense. Is here for Upsala. They're pushing in to try to get something off. There aren't minions left available just yet. Always Green will find himself in a rough spot. This is the side of One Trick going a little bit too overzealous. Not exactly where they want to be just yet. Verche will end up using the pull to try to get the kill. He does indeed do that. Bruticus is going to walk away safely, that they get themselves the high ground tower.
Yeah, what a nice Always Green there. What a great teamy ultimate there. He brought back to life Zelf when Zephy's God was able to get onto Zelf. Nice ultimate there, deleting Zelf right off the mat. However, it was too much AoE damage. Again, even though they were able to kill Zelf, Teamy revived her immediately. And this is why Teamy does not make it through the ban. What a great play by One Trick there, being able to win that engage and then turn it around. But now Upsala taking Darkslayer. This is their chance. If they can win and take Darkslayer and get a team fight and win, this is going to be huge for Upsala.
Oh, it's going to be a close one, but Bruticus ends up getting the Darkslayer. The ultimate comes down, and it's Malik that saves the day. You said it was going to be the tide turner, but it doesn't matter, because One Trick pulls out their special trick in the book, and that's the ultimate coming out of Bruticus. The fights are coming down across the map. The health bars are low, but more importantly, the death bars are what's next. 3 members have fallen. Andy God is down to a very low HP. Flowery is being forced to run away as well. And so now, with the Darkslayer buff in the fans of One Trick, as well as the minions coming down in both the mid and the bottom lane, there's no one left to defend, and it looks like they're going to walk away with the game. Everything fell apart for Upsala. It was the last-ditch effort for the Darkslayer, but lo and behold, Bruticus is the king of the gladiators, and One Trick moves on. Are you not entertained Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a quarterfinal winner. Team Upsala unfortunately falls and One Trick rises to the top. It was back and forth, the climax being Bruticus securing that Dark Slayer, but all in all, as you mentioned throughout the entirety of the game, One Trick found themselves in a positive position every step of the way.
Yeah, two things. I bet a momentum of Upsala, lost that bet, and I should not underestimate One Trick. And I felt like One Trick has grown so much. So impressive to see their plays, their synergy, their way to counter-engage. Their draft has been really awesome. Always Green has been making plays, and I felt like he's the most improved on that team, which resulted in a lot of the team able to play off his engages, his saving and protecting his carry. So really nice job, Always Green, and Bruticus with that godly Dark Slayer steal at the end of that game there.
But it wasn't just the Dark Slayer that allowed the members of One Trick to secure this victory. It was all stages of the game, early, middle, and late, that they walked away with it. It was a fight back and forth, and what I think is one of the more interesting moments is what we're going to see right here, where One Trick did not stop fighting and making sure that they walk away with a victory.
Yeah, and like I said, if you miss ability, Malik ultimate was missed, Zephy's ability is missed. Both these teams just have a tendency to miss key abilities, but it comes down to who made more mistakes and who's trying to engage. Look, it's a 3v4, and Upsala is still trying to fight. L'Oreal is in her ultimate. They're trying to fight L'Oreal in her ultimate. I felt like this was a huge mistake for Upsala here. After God misses abilities, it's a lost cause, and look at his rotation there. It turns into a 4v3, and as a result, Upsala does not come out ahead in this matchup.
There isn't a time where Upsala didn't find themselves either overexerting or underperforming in any of these fights. They either went too far in one direction or they didn't go anywhere at all, being forced to backpedal, and the members of One Trick being able to walk away with that successful venture. Now, we have to ask, One Trick shown signs of life, have kept their playoffs hope alive. Do they have what it takes to make it to the finals on Saturday?
If they keep playing like this, they do, but they're going to face a lot of stiff competition. They need to make it to the finals, I believe, to secure a spot. And that's going to, these points will matter to the very end for Team One Trick. So good luck, train hard. You now have Saturday to look forward to.
Saturday indeed, and not only has the side of One Trick secured themselves an opportunity to win fourth, but with Upsala losing, that confirms Dino Riders in the number 3 seed. And so now it's in between Upsala and One Trick. One Trick needing to win semifinals and making a finals appearance. If they make it to the finals, they're in. So Saturday is going to be just as important when you get your tickets booked and you get to go to E3 here in Los Angeles. Or if you don't, unfortunately, it's going to be Upsala, despite losing, finding themselves in that spot. But we've got a lot of variables. That's a lot of things to worry about. We want to award ourselves an MVP of this match. It's going to go to none other than the Lindis player, Zelf, who came out hot and ready to go.
Yeah, he did such a good job there on the Lindis, doing so much damage. And even game 1, he was able to carry his team. His positioning was great. He didn't have that many deaths. And as a result, because he was surviving and the enemy jungler was not, they're able to turn a lot of these team fights in their favor. So really good job on Zelf, able to carry his team so well in both these games.
Well, as we mentioned, it is the members of One Trick that walk away with the semifinal victory, quarterfinal victory, securing their win over Upsala. Dino Riders versus 0-9, and then Reformed versus Immortals are the second half of that quarterfinal bracket. Before we kick ourselves to a break, I've got to ask you, Sweejay, which of these matchups are you excited most to see?
I think I'm most excited for probably Dino Riders and 0-9, because 0-9, unknown team. We don't know how well they're going to do. They reached this far into the bracket, and facing a team like Dino Riders, who's more of a veteran team in the Valor Series, it's going to really showcase how new and well this team can play against a more veteran squad like Dino Riders.
Well, the Caster School contestants have been anxiously awaiting a chance to prove themselves as a competitive talent to bring themselves on the regional finals broadcast for E3. We have introduced 7 of those 8 members, and why not do a better time than introduce our final Caster School competitor? It's going to be TJ.
Hi, my name is Thomas. You probably, though, know me as TJ. I've been doing the online commentary for the ESL, Go4 and Community Cups in North America and Europe for a few months. And I was lucky enough to be involved in the non-pro tournament where I did color commentary. You may have seen it. I was there. I got to cast the weeks 1 and 2 and then the finals at DreamHack, which is where I got this sick Team Germany jacket, which I actually haven't taken off since. I was offered the Team France jacket as well, but they came in first, and I definitely identified more with the second place team. So I went ahead and picked up that one. And I've been lucky enough, somehow, I don't know how, to be given the opportunity to do caster school, which is pretty cool for me, because I've been commentating for a while, mostly in first-person shooters. I started because I loved watching Counter-Strike esports way back when Counter-Strike Global Offensive was first getting a competitive scene. And throughout all of it, the most transformative experience of that was when I was 16 and I was invited for a tiny game, to be on the summit to do a sponsored broadcast, a sponsored tournament there. And I was awful. I wasn't good. I'm still not, but I was extra not good when I was 16. But I got to sit in a room with some of the best commentators working today in esports, and they were so astoundingly better than me that I learned so much from just being there and screwing up. So I'm hoping that caster school will kind of be the same thing, except I'm told that they want to help me, which is cool. They haven't met me yet, so I'm going to kind of withhold judgment as to whether or not they still want to help me. But as of yet, they're going into it. I'm going to get to sit in a room with some of the best people currently casting, and theoretically, I'm going to get to learn a ton and become way better as a commentator, which is always exciting to me.
Welcome to the Hero Spotlight for Lindis, the Sentinel. Lindis is a powerful marksman who excels in bursting down her enemies. Although she doesn't have any dash ability, her mobility will get boosted while she's passing through the brush. Lindis' second ability, Entrapment, can help her reveal enemies who are trying to sneak attack. Want to assassinate Lindis? Not so easy. Passive, Tread Softly. When Lindis passes through the brush, she will increase her movement speed and strengthen her next normal attack for a short period of time. The strengthened attack will fire 2 arrows with each arrow dealing physical damage, 4-second cooldown. As a good Lindis player, you should make the most of the benefits from fighting in the brush. Use the extra mobility and damage as an edge to prevail in battles. The same works for clearing monsters. The extra speed and damage can make it much more efficient, letting Lindis to grow faster in the early game. First ability, Piercing Gaze. Lindis illuminates the area around her and reveals the location of nearby enemy heroes for 5 seconds. This ability can be stored 2 times. After learning this ability, when Lindis hits the same enemy 3 times, the target will suffer an additional physical damage. Piercing Gaze can be used to discover enemy heroes in stealth mode, such as Batman. When entering unknown territory, Lindis can release Piercing Gaze in advance to view her surroundings to avoid a possible gank from the enemy. Second ability, Entrapment. Lindis sets a trap that lasts for 2 minutes. The trap will slow enemy movement speed by 30%, reveal enemy locations, and after a short while, deal physical damage. Lindis can store and set up to 2 traps. Traps will become invisible 2 seconds after being set. While landing, Lindis can cast Entrapment into the river and brush. This will give her better vision and can discover enemies' attack in advance. Ultimate Lunar Champion. Lindis calls forth a spirit to attack enemies, dealing physical damage and adding any bonus normal attack effects from equipped items or buffs. She can store this ability up to 5 times. The ultimate is Lindis' main ability to deal damage. Since it can also trigger a critical hit, here we recommend to equip items that can boost critical chance to help maximize the Lunar Champion's damage output. When playing Lindis, here are some things to remember. 1. Lindis has many ways to combo skills together. One of the common combo is to use the first ability, Piercing Gaze, to reveal opponent's position. Follow it up by second ability, lay entrapment right underneath enemy target, then use the ultimate, Lunar Champion, and normal attacks to finish off the enemy. Combo sequence is 1 + 2 + A + ultimate. Don't panic when enemy is attacking. Lindis can first run into brush, then lay second ability underneath enemy to slow him. This will lead Lindis to a successful escape. 2. Lindis' first ability, Piercing, can deal extra damage when hitting the same target twice. Thus, try not to change the target while Piercing is activated. 3. Lindis doesn't have any dash ability. She can easily get killed by warrior or assassin. Thus, it's better to take Flicker as Summoner's talent, which can boost her mobility and help her survive longer in the game. 4. Lindis can use normal attack to kite enemy while moving, especially after obtaining Might Golem. Then she can use her ultimate to cancel normal attack's ending move, save a bit more time, and follow it up with normal attack again. Thanks for watching today's Hero Spotlight on Lindis. See you on the battlefield.
A new type of broom came out, and it's sweeping the nation. We have Dino Riders securing themselves the number 3 seed coming into the regional finals at E3, but that doesn't mean that their journey is done quite yet because they still have week 6 to get through. We have them going up against 0-9. Now 0-9, we have seen them quite a couple weeks here in the Valor Series, but Sweet J, I have to ask, nothing matters right now for Dino Riders outside of pride in week number 6. Is there anything that we can expect out of them coming into this match today?
Yeah, they should just continue to play competitively, really test the limits of their strategies or their teamwork, because this is the best practice you're going to get before coming to live final. This is when a lot is on the line. 0-9 wants it more, I would say, than Dino Riders, since Dino Riders has secured their 3rd seed spot. But 0-9 can play and try to get points and hopefully get a placing in the top 8 based on how things will play out.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that Dino Riders roster a little bit more. Now, having secured themselves the number 3 seed, they have a little bit more comfort behind them. And might we remind you that they have an actual logo now. It is not an animated cartoon dino. It is actually much more red dino. Shozen, Medic, Yikes, Hoon, and CLZ. Medic, formerly known as Chicken, the support player for their team. And in a lot of instances, in a lot of ways, they're kind of X Factor, I would say.
Yeah, he has played so well, especially in Alice. I mean, this guy's mechanical raw talent has been such a joy to watch. And Sojin, actually, formerly Jordy, drew that logo. I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter, but he actually drew that logo for Dino Riders, and he's been a key person on the team as well as kind of the shot caller, I believe. And with their new addition, Hoon on their roster, CLZ, they've been playing really, really well. I mean, last week, they put Immortals to the limit. So this is a team that has a lot of potential going into the live playoffs.
Live playoffs are going to be a big test for Dino Riders on if they're capable of continuing the momentum, and that momentum needs to start now. Let's take a look at their opponent, 0-9, a team that, like we said, have been in the Valor Series the last couple weeks, but unfortunately have found themselves in relegation both of those weeks. Palm, Bake, Eltran, Shen, and Lan Chi. Who are you looking to see today?
Yeah, I would love to see how Bake and Lan Chi here, how their synergy is going to turn out, because the key is, again, that mid-map control. Jungle, mage, and support. They gotta be able to win the mid-map and be able to get some ganks on side lane, push objectives, win river. That is how you're gonna beat Dino Riders, because Dino Riders is so decisive, so dominant in the map control game that Medic is able to provide their team. So if they can win that, then they have a chance of taking hopefully a game off Dino Riders.
Taking a game, using your words carefully there, Sweet J. Is that a foreshadow that in the next question of your prediction, it is Dino Riders that walks away with the win?
Yeah, Dino Riders has just playing so well, and I think Dino Riders will definitely take the win here.
All right, that was short, sweet, and to the point, just like Sweet J, short and sweet. What about you, Twitch chat? What are you thinking? I can see the grin and the hatred in his face right now. Dino Riders or 09? Let us know who you feel is going to win. We will check up with those results after the pick ban phase. Now, as players are getting themselves into lobby, Dino Riders will find themselves on the blue. 09 will find themselves on the red. What are we expecting to see? Anything? We've seen shenanigans today. You can't have more shenanigans in the first match of the day when you've got Maganga, Pura, as well as 480 carries. Is there anything they can do to top that, or is it just going to be calm, cool, collected for both teams?
I mean, Dino Riders, they could play some heroes that are kind of extinct and have never been played. So maybe Valheim. Well, actually, Valheim was played.
Valheim was played.
So Pura was played. So there's, Eisenkall maybe could pop out. It'll be very interesting to see that.
Can't even say like an Omega meme because Omega has been pulled out as well. There's still a couple. Eisenkall, the day Eisenkall gets pulled out, that'll be an interesting one.
But if that happens, I want to see 09 just go ham. Just pick a meta composition and just beat Dino Riders and enforce a very interesting game too. But I have a feeling that they're not going to go too out of the meta, so to speak. They're going to stay to comfort picks, not show any new cards, and just practice and use this experience, not only for 09, but also for Dino Riders to get ready for the live playoffs.
So let's talk about the Dino Riders a little more and think about who they're going to be up against in the regional finals, looking forward a little bit to Immortals and Allegiance. You've seen what they can do. We've seen what they can do. What are some of their strengths that they can use to potentially have that regional finals? But more importantly, what sort of advantages can they use for themselves to go against 09 coming up in just a second?
Yeah, Dino Riders likes to play the Alice composition. They really love to engage. So they love Alice with Ryoma, such a strong combo together. And then they're going to pick that with maybe potentially a Violet or really strong ADC in the jungle so that they can burst down their opponents and be more aggressive. And they're going to go ahead and just take Yorn off the map here. That's the first time Yorn has been banned, but nope, they're going to switch over to Teamy.
Teamy being a much more consistent ban away for the Dino Riders. Now, again, they are on the blue side. 09 taking up the red. And Max, a hero that has been finding himself on and off the ban board, but definitely finding himself in play, is taken off the table. Flash, Zenial, Malik, Superman, lots of different options for both of these teams. There's 4 bans left remaining.
Yeah, they're gonna look at Superman here. Zenial, again, they're staying on the Yorn here, but they're gonna switch this to the Ryoma, taking off the map. I wonder if Alice will be banned here. Of course, on this side, yes, they're gonna pick the Alice and ban it against Medic. Really smart here. However, that leaves Liliana or Superman open. If Dino Rider doesn't ban Liliana or Superman, that's going to be a first pick for Dino Riders with Superman or Liliana not banned here. So let's see what they're going to switch it to, because they are having fun with the ban phase right here, Mr. Team Dino Riders.
Superman being a much more obvious ban that they're going to take away. Now, 09 has a decision. What are they going to give away for the first pick? Malik, Zenial, the Flash, Liliana. It seems to be the Liliana. First pick, potentially a Malik or a Zenial here for Dino Riders.
Yeah, Zenial will probably be the pick unless they want to take the Flash. Definitely not a Preda here. Pura. It would be really funny if they do pick Pura. So we'll see. But I have a feeling Zenial will probably be the pick here. Or Flash, depending on what they want to secure. But Tulin also is a really good pick. Yeah. Oh, when I say it, they pick Tulin. So the telepathy is strong here.
Something of the sort. Now, considering the other strong picks that are available, specifically with the side laners, Wonder Woman, Zenial, Malik, why would Dino Riders prioritize something like a Tulin, considering the power that the side laners have at their disposal?
Because Tulin offers such a strong early game. He's good into Flash. Flash can't really poke the Tulin because Tulin can just out-trade him when he's in his face. Tulin can just respond back with Ion Blast. And as a result, Tulin is actually a really good pick into the Flash. It looks like they may offer the Kilgroth here, but I have a feeling that they may go for like a Lubu potentially, but looks like they're going to go with Arduin and Ari. Wow, this is a very interesting composition. And I'm really excited because Ari is a very high skill cap hero, and when she gets ahead, she is so hard to play against.
So now we see L'Oreal as well as the Violet being locked in for the 3-4 for 0-9, leaving opportunities abroad for the Dino Riders. Two side laners seems to be the play. Kilgroth being hovered over.
Oof.
The Flash actually being hovered over as well. So a little bit of a Flash and Crixie. I don't think that's going to be the final lock-ins. One
That's
of the
three
two,
mages.
possibly. It could be 3 mages. Yorn will be locked in as well as the Kilgroth. So there are your side laners. Interesting composition by DR.
Yeah, Yorn side lane, Ari side lane, Kilgroth most likely jungle, or they may do Ari jungle. Let's see. But Omen being picked up, that is such a solid meta composition that they have there. That's a late game powerhouse of a composition. Strong frontline with Zenio and Wonder Woman, protection and lockdown from Omen. And L'Oreal, her ultimate is to be able to protect Vi. If Vi fights within L'Oreal's ultimate, that Kilgroth is not going to be able to do much.
So let's talk about this Kilgroth as well as these other compositions. You're seeing combination as Arduin as well as the Ari come into play, mixed in with the Yorn and the Tulin. What are we thinking for these players as we figure out what I'm going to try to get this. It'll work sometime or another. For these 5. I'm having way too much fun right now.
Yeah, you are. So Arjun has a pretty strong mid-game power spike. He's a little weaker in the late game part of the phase. He offers a lot of damage because when his abilities do true damage, so he's able to auto attack and use his passive and his abilities to do a lot of damage in the early game. So they need to basically win that early and mid game because Ari turns level 4. She has a huge Ryu ultimate that has an AoE stun. She has the Shuriken as her first ability that can stun as well. So they can do a lot of plays. However, it's going to be tough to go to late game with a Violet L'Oreal and a Zenio. That's a really hard comp to play against.
So the question becomes, does Dino Riders have the ability to close out the game? We saw in the last matchup, One Trick wasn't able to do it. Dino Riders, however, is sitting at 57%. 0-9, not far behind with 43. The questions have been asked and the answers must be found. As quarterfinal 3 begins, Dino Riders, unconventional composition, but with having secured the number 3 spot, have an opportunity to have a little fun.
Yeah, they are. Look at this. Already engaging Medic, being so aggressive. That's exactly what you want to do with Arjun. That's what Arjun provides. He is actually very strong early and mid, and you want to abuse that power spike. But look at the counter rotation by 0-9 there. Violet and Zika are going to come down here and be able to take and trade the red golem.
So now, as we find ourselves in an opportunity for Dino Riders to secure themselves some early advantage, you can see them stealing away one of those jungle camps as well as securing themselves a nice little might buff. You can see the Kilgroth having it. Now, you said we were wondering where these lanes are going to go. It actually does end up being chosen on that sideline Aerie, so something that we're going to have to keep in mind with. Now, we haven't seen the Aerie Omen matchup yet in the Valor Series. Is there a way that this Aerie could potentially deal with the Omen? But the question will have to be asked later, as Medic is going to have a lot of damage onto Eltran, but Zika as well as Eltran will walk away safely. Bake in the meanwhile is going to try to come back and get a little piece of extra damage. Zeke is going to get the knock-up to allow the disengage. But back to this top lane. Talk to me about this Aerie Omen matchup.
Yeah, Ari needs to go to jungle and needs to starve Omen because 1v1 Omen is going to win that matchup. So she needs to basically clear the wave and not trade him. You cannot trade Omen here because he's such a good dueler. What Ari needs to do is jump around the map because she has her spin ability. Her shadow ability. She can basically charge 3 times and get across the map so quickly like a ninja she is and just basically take your jungle. That's exactly what Ari needs to do, is farm up, feed herself, and then do a lot of work once she reaches level 4 and above.
Abyssal Dragon now is being tended upon by 3 of the members, make that 4 members. Yikes is able to pick that up for Dino Riders. 0-9 isn't able to contest this, and so the early game power that you said Dino Riders need to capitalize upon have done just that thus far. Shozen has the availability and the opportunity over Shensu because that punish availability, or that punish talent is available, is able to smite away the Spirit Sentinel there, as now the Might buff has also been taken. Shensu not able to do anything off the mark. CLZ going to get a little bit of extra damage, but it doesn't matter because it is the prioritization of the jungle creep for them.
Yeah, what a nice rotation there by Dino Riders. Are able to take the jungle, and as a result, 0-9 is doing pretty well. They're trading jungles because they know the invasions are happening, so they're communicating pretty well here. And look at that nice Ren knock up there from Medic there. This is going to be huge. He uses the ultimate, he misses it, doesn't land the stun. However, Z9 Palm. L'Oreal has her ultimate up, and that's going to be first blood.
Palm picks up that kill over onto Medic. Bake is going to go down as well. Kuhn being able to pick up that kill. Now, CLZ is going to be able to pick up that kill on the Palm when the Endure comes off, and so a 2-for-1 in favor of the Dino Riders. 45 seconds left remaining on that Abyssal Dragon, so they're not going to be able to take it. However, with 3 minions on the bottom side of the map, as well as Hoon doing all sorts of poke damage onto Zika and Eltran, that's going to be an opportunity here for that bottom tower to be destroyed by the Dino Riders.
Yeah, again, Yorn is going off. This is really bad for Yorn to get the bottom tower like that. He is getting fed, and that's not what you want. And Sojin's doing a really good job on Ari, rotating the map, pushing mid lane, just farming up. And look at the gold difference right now. Ari is 1.9, Omen is 1.6, but Kilgroth and Yorn, you know, all 2K on Tulin as well. That's a nice, healthy lead for them. It's going to be able to get them ahead in items, and now they can start abusing and just keep farming. And look at it, level 7 to level 5. That is not good for Omen right now.
Not the place that he wants to be in just yet. Shozin doing a great job at getting Mel some extra damage. He's going to try to get over the wall. It's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, oh, I just stand corrected.
Yeah, he gets it with the punish.
Shozin able to take it with the punish, that vision being just enough. And with all members of 0-9 on the top side of the map, that's going to mean Abyssal Dragon being done and taken again by the Dino Riders. You wanted them to show up in the early games too, EJ. They have indeed.
Yeah, Ari was one of Jordy's best heroes, or formerly known as Jordy Shojin. Ari was one of his best heroes that he played a lot in side lane when he was with Team Liquid back in November of 2017. So it's great to see him back on his hero because Ari is such a high-risk, high-reward hero. She's so dynamic, and she does so much damage and burst because of her skill set. She has that spin, that shuriken she throws there, slices enemies in the path and stuns everybody. And look at that follow-up.
The double knockup coming out of the Arduin. Eltran as well as Palm end up going down. Medic is there ready for those cooldowns to come back so he can help out with his team. Arduin, a hero that we haven't seen show too much pressure, too much presence rather, in the Valor series thus far, but the utility that he provides with that knockup as well as the innately tanky stats is certainly helping his team thus far. Yeah, look at that. Medic is playing so aggressive. He understands the limit of his hero, using Undying Protector, using his call to get in and get out, and he's landing these Rens really well. So Arjun, his win condition is he has to hit the ability with Ren. He has to hit a hero with Ren first, and then Ren then activates a second ability, which then he can smash his axe and knock people up. That is the win. If he misses that, if Arjun misses first ability, the side of 0-9 needs to go in hard because he won't have that knock-up ready to knock the entire team up. It's like a lumber ultimate, honestly, which makes Arjun actually very dangerous if someone is very proficient at landing those. Stranger danger as you see Dino Riders coming into the 0-9 jungle, and that is not one that 0-9 wants to see. Bake is going to be able to try to come in with that ultimate, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. As you can see, the knockups happening. Shozin has a lot of damage onto Palm. The ultimate comes out of Hoon, but it's not going to be enough just yet. However, just as I say that, he's going to be able to get himself a nice little blink in. The kill happens, so Palm goes down. A 1-for-0 trade. Dino Riders have got themselves in an advantageous position. Shensu's not going to be able to put himself in a spot to push that top tower, as it is 1, no 2, no 3, no 4 members collapsing onto the top side. Hoon picks up that kill, and the Dino Riders are rolling.
What a great play there. Ari stole that buff again with Punish, and then Medic, again, the skill shots. He landed his ultimate, his call. He flies forward, gets a stun, lands the Ren follow-up, and then Sojin comes out with the spin, another stun from Ari, and Omen just has no chance. And look at the burst. Hoon going off on this Tulin right now.
And so now it's 7 minutes into the game. It is almost a 6,000 gold lead in favor of the Dino Riders. They have put themselves in such a great position considering the different style of composition that they have decided to draft. as now the third Abyssal Dragon goes into their favor. Bonus Golden XP goes into their hands, as you see on the top side of your screen. Now 6,500 gold floats in favor of the Dino Riders.
Yeah, they're playing so well right now. They only have given over 1 death, and that was from Medic there. And as a result, they are such a healthy lead. 7k gold at 7.5 minutes. It's looking really, really solid for Dino Riders. They can take this Darkslayer and potentially take 3 or more towers.
And it's uncontested. There's nothing that 0-9 has at the table. When you have Medic explicitly alone and still fending off 0-9 for potentially coming to try to contest that Darkslayer, good things are happening for the Dino Riders. Chensu's going to end up going down very shortly, even though Bake decided to try to come and help out with his ultimate. The Zennial not being enough. CLZ goes ultimate. 9-1, the stat line. Dino Riders yet again in a healthy lead. And
yeah,
control.
Again, when the team takes a Darkslayer, don't overextend. Stay under your tower. Clear out your jungle as fast as possible because, again, what is Violet or Zenio doing on this side of the map? There is no reason to rotate or go past your towers. Your enemy team has the Darkslayer. Back off, play safe, play defense, wait for them to make a mistake, and then get a kill so you waste their Darkslayer. But as a result of them dying instead, the Darkslayer becomes that much more dangerous.
Not much that they can do. Shensu's about to go down yet again. Dominating goes Hoon as the Dino Riders have everything clearly in their control. The tier 2 tower goes down on the top side of the map. 4 members are left alive. Zika just respawned, hightailing it towards the bottom side, but it doesn't matter as Yikes is able to pick up that kill. The split push being real. The cross map ultimate comes out to try to get some extra poke damage. You can see the tower going down immediately. CLZ and the damage that this Kilgoth providing is unbelievable. Legendary goes Hoon. The Dino Riders with 3-4 members left alive. It's going to be the defensive towers going down, the core exploding, and the Dino Riders win game 1. Dino Riders come galloping in and are able to take down 0-9 in stunning fashion. Hello and welcome back to the desk. My name is Jump. I've got SuiJ here. We've been rocking for you all day as we are in our 3rd quarterfinal, and the Dino Riders showing control and proving that they deserve a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're showing that they are king of the jungle. I mean, Sojin with the constant red buff steal, getting 2 levels ahead of the Omen. And in the plays that they're making with, Medic on this Ardrin, beautiful Rens, beautiful knockouts, awesome stuns, made so many plays, and catching out 0-9 so often and only giving over 1 death. I mean, that's a massive, massive play there for Dino Riders, just showing how dominant and how good they are as a team.
And the best part about it was it wasn't a sort of over-aggressive effort. It was all very calculated. Every dive that they went into, every counter jungle that they had, it was with a plan, which was what you need to see considering... Oh, excuse me. Oh, that was a rough one.
That's what you get for making fun of me earlier.
I do. I get it. That's what I get for making fun of you earlier. The karma is a terrible burp, and it's looking for you, so be careful.
It stinks.
Yeah? All right, I deserve that one. All right, moving back, though, to what I was saying is their specific macro rotations are extremely efficient, explicitly because when you have a composition that is uncharacteristic like the one that they choose, if you're not operating in the early game with a specific strategy, you're not going to find success. Dino Riders, though, did just that.
Yeah, I mean, they had some good rotations. Again, winning Dragon side of the map. The fact that Yorn was inside, again, Yorn is weak early. You have to punish him. And so many times, they allow Yorn to scale up in the side lane. They lose that tier 1 tower. Dragon side of the map is completely open because you lost a tier 1 tower, and Dino Riders just abused that over and over again. And because of Yorn getting fed, Ari getting fed, the side laners just took over complete control. And then Hoon got so fed that he was making plays, insta-killing the Violet, catching Violet off guard. And I feel like Zika needs to be more careful as Violet. His positioning, where he is on the map, they need to rotate better and get better vision and understand where they should be based on, what has been taken. So when Darkslayer was taken, they needed to play defense and stay under the tower. But the fact they gave over 2 deaths really set 0-9 super behind.
Game 2, 0-9 is on the blue. Dino Riders find themselves on the red. Max and Alice being banned away by 0-9. Superman and Teamy, so nothing out of the ordinary thus far. Outside of the very specific Alice ban, it looks like Tulin is taken off the table as well. Now, Dino Riders have a couple decisions to make. They have Zenial, they have Malik as an opportunity to flash, even if they so choose to get a little bit frisky. But I wouldn't be surprised if they leave a couple of these side laners open to give some beautiful opportunities at this counter.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to ban Liliana here, or they're going to get... Okay, Liliana is going to be taken off the map. Now that leaves Zenio being a nice first pick. You know, since Tulin's banned, that won't be a first pick. But what? They might take Kilgroth first here. So that's a very interesting pick there because I feel like there's a lot of pretty good counters into him. So let's see if they're going to secure this Kilgroth or go for... Oh, they are.
Oh, buddy. That's going to be a Kilgroth locked in for 0-9, which leaves an opportunity for Malik, Zenio, Ryoma, Wonder Woman, even if they so choose. So now it is a decision by the Dino Riders. They lock in the flash. Hovering over the Astrid, not too sure we're going to see that one come off just yet. It's the last second switch for the Malik, so a side laner as well as a potential mid laner here.
Yeah,
Zeno.
Sorry, Zeno looks really good right now with L'Oreal. I feel like they need to pick Zenio here because he's open, and with Zenio and Kilgroth, that makes Kilgroth so much more sustainable, lasting longer in fights, getting his heal, his life steal, and providing the 40% damage reduction Zeno provides is a really good combo. And if they don't pick Zenio, Dino Riders might pick him up right here. But instead, they're not. They're going to go ahead and pick up the Arjun with a Joker side lane.
Joker side lane. Another Arjun. Raz actually gets locked in. So could potentially find ourselves with a side lane flash with the Arduino support and the Raz potentially here for the mid lane. So a little bit of a different situation that we see coming out of the Dino Riders is Omen and Wonder Woman locked in. Another standard composition.
Yeah, another solid draft, honestly. So they just got to execute it. Yorn being picked up again here. They had so much success with it. The key is they need to rotate and punish the Yorn, but instead they're going to go with the Wisp. So CLZ is going to play a Wisp. I wonder if it's going to be a whip side lane in a Flash jungle. CLZ is playing Flash jungle.
Flash
this is really exciting to watch.
We've talked about Flash and his mid lane potential, his support roam, even as a side laner. But now the question is, how is Flash as a jungler going to fare for the side of Dino Riders?
Yeah, so Flash is really good at poking into Violet and L'Oreal. The thing is, Violet can just respawn and basically blast them in his face, and that's exactly what they need to do. L'Oreal is going to have a much hard time because she has to skill shot that first ability, that wheel that she sets on the floor there. So Flash is going to be a pain in the butt poking them. So what they need to do is lock him down when he jumps in. Omen can just cast Death's Embrace, lock him down, trap him, and then delete him because of his overextension. So if 0-9 plays their competition properly, they have a chance. But again, comes down to rotations, and they need to stop getting caught out and giving deaths over to Dino Riders.
Well, as we get loaded onto the battlefield, we always want to know what you think at home. Make sure you use the hashtag Valor Series over on the Twitter sphere and let us know what you're thinking of the predictions as well as everything that you have to say about the Valor Series inaugural season. We are on our second to last broadcast of that regular season, so let us know how you feel. Let us know what you think as the second match of our third quarterfinal of the day is well underway. 0-9 versus Dino Riders is the game.
Yeah, let's see if teams are going to play aggressive. So they're not. Hoon is going to play a little more aggressive as Raz here, which is interesting because Raz doesn't have as solid a wave clear as L'Oreal does because of the amount of AoE damage she's doing, and she's winning that lane trade here. But Raz is playing aggressive. He's positioning much more aggressive here. And look at Medic coming in there. Wow, he's not able to steal it, but that was a very, very close one.
Very close indeed as the side of Dino Riders finds themselves a little bit of a solid invade now, trying to get themselves in a different situation. Now, all right, we've talked about it once. We've talked about it before. Talk to me, Sweet J. CLZ on this flash. We know he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. We know that he has the ability to jump in and out, but the question becomes how effective is it going to be with someone like a Medic by his side?
Yeah, exactly. Medic is going to be able to protect him using a lot of the protection abilities that Arjun has there with the Ren and the Clone. Look at that. He's landing these knockups so well here. So impressive seeing Medic play this Arjun. The key is Flash needs to get to level 4, and once they get level 4, they can start really abusing because he can engage, get someone low. Raz can then go in there and do a ton of damage. We have also Wisp with the barrel roll that can slow opponents and stun them if it hits them against an object. So let's see how they're going to combo this ability and how they're going to play this comp, because it's a very interesting and off-meta composition they picked.
4 members on the bottom side of the map now for 0-9. They want to try to see if they can get themselves any sort of extra damage on this tower. The 2-man knockup's going to happen out of Medic. He will find himself very low. First Blood's going to go over into the hands of Palm, but they're going to have to be forced to back up, as now you see Yikes being able to pick up that kill onto Palm, as well as Bake going down. Chen Su is going to have to be forced to walk away. Eltran will find himself caught up. Violet being a little bit too far forward. CLZ finds it in a good spot. That's going to be the quick 5 punches of the attack. Raz is going to help out as well. And so just like that, the melee of Dino Riders walks away with 3 kills.
Yeah, what a nice rotation there. And the knockup, you saw Arjun, you saw Flash, you saw Raz get a huge knockup as well. And because of that CC, they're able to secure these kills and get a positive trade. The key here is the side of 0-9. Once Raz and Flash gets 2 or 3 tier 3 magic damage items, they got to rush Medallion of Troy, because that's going to give them a lot of the magic defense and sustain they need to counter a double mage composition that the side of Dino Riders is running right now.
Might Golem being stolen away there by the Dino Riders. And just like a battery, 0-9 gives that over free of charge. Unfortunately, unable to help them out in any sort of situation. 2,000 gold lead is the favor here for the Dino Riders, as Eltran, Palm secure themselves the Sage buff on the top side of the map, but the rotations are going to have to come out now by Dino Riders.
Yeah, Dino Riders is going to have to start pressuring, and you know, they're actually almost 2k ahead. They're just farming and getting up levels, and Medic is constantly zoning out the enemy team here. And look at that, it's a dual lane here, because they have to make sure they do not let Wisp win the Dragon side of the map. It's really important that Dragon side is not lost for 0-9, otherwise they're going to continue to get snowballed if they give up Dragon control, and it's very important to 0-9 to respond. Look at the aggressive posturing there. Flash comes in there.
Oh, there's the ultimate coming out of Yikes and that whiff. That's exactly what Dino Riders are looking for. The double knockup is going to be enough, as CLZ picks up 1, but 2 members fall as Yikes picks up the 2nd. And so just like that, the Dino Riders take another chomp out of the 0-9 team, picking themselves up 2 kills. And now with Bake being forced to back away, that's going to be a tier 1 tower going down in favor of the Dino Riders. Momentum has not stopped since game 1.
What a nice camp. What a nice engage there. Flash got so much AoE damage. And then Hoon on this Raz. He's just going off. And look at it. Another decisive engage there. Getting a huge kill. Flash going in and out. Raz going in and out as well and getting that double kill.
Double kill going into their pockets. We questioned their composition yet again. But just as we have questioned, they have proven their ability. Eltran finds himself low. CLZ tries to get a little bit of an effort, but it's not going to be enough. Zika will end up going through to help them out. It's going to be just enough of a help there by Shozin. The Malik will come in. Zika will find himself very low. Medic is going to help out. It's not going to be enough for the knockup. Just as I say that, there will be a knockup. Medic end up picking up the kill onto Zika. Palm's going to try to do everything he can to come in the mark. That's the L'Oreal trying to help themselves out. It's going to be a lot of poke damage coming back and forth. Bake picks up the kill onto the Shozin. Yikes is going to tell them to go away, but the lasso helps. Forced to flicker. Stunned out of Xianzhu. Hoon joins the fray now. It's his turn to join the mark.
Wow.
The poke damage coming out here of the Raz as he wants to go in. The skill shot, it needs to land.
And
it will. The knockup will be there. Wonder Woman is there to help, and Xianzhu to match. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to walk away. Yikes, he's going to throw down the ultimate just as a result. But woo, 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 you've got some fights.
Hoon going off on this Raz. It's so fun to watch a really highly skilled Raz player play. He's so aggressive, getting these huge knockups and engages so well. These uppercuts, doing so much damage. This is what makes Raz so good. He actually is a very bursty mage assassin. It kind of gets in your face, and he has Boomstick. Boomstick does extra magic damage after when you use an ability there, and that extra burst is working out really well for Hoon to delete and get all these kills. Look at it. Here he has 5 kills to his name.
5 kills indeed. Hoon has been able to create all sorts of power for his team to make them in a much more advantageous position. 11-3, 4,000 gold is sitting in their pockets at just under the 6.5 mark. It's going to be another tower number 2, going in their favor.
Yeah, again, just clean play by Dino Riders right now. They're playing so confident, so in control of the engages, of the map, and such good synergy. Whoever Flash goes in on, they all engage at the same time. What a nice stun by one of them. But however, she's gonna get caught. And again, the Flash and Hoon combo. It's like a boxing of two boxers here, with Flash punching you like crazy with his speed punches, and then Raz coming in with his huge fist, doing so much work and burst.
So much work indeed, as we are at the 7-minute mark, and the high ground tower is now getting the damage. Palm is going to be able to pop that ultimate, but is he going to be enough to fend off the other remaining members of Dino Riders? He takes down one, blinks in to try to get some extra damage, dodges out the Hoon poke, thankfully so, as Hoon has created all sorts of power for him and that very close quarters assassin.
Yeah, again, Dino Rider just executing their competition so well that I love the Raz combo with the Arjun combo. There's 2 knockups in their kit. Arjun has a stun. His Cole ultimate is a stun, and he launches himself towards enemy. He lands a stun, but he misses it there. But look at Chen. He's getting caught, and the Malik ultimate comes down as well. There's just so much CC potential coming from Dino Rider that it's so hard for 0-9 to respawn if they're not together. They're constantly getting caught out here.
What seemed like Dino Riders capitalizing and making sure that they were one step ahead of 0-9 in game number 1 is now of 0-9 is just in a place where Dino Riders wants to be, and Dino Riders pushes them to the side so that way they can get the objectives. 13 kills are into their pockets. This is going to be tower number 4 going down in their favor as well. You've got Palm trying to pop the ultimate. Wisp is doing the best they can to zone out the other members of 0-9. Palm will end up falling. You don't have any minions quite yet. They're going to have to wait for that to come through. But with Palm down, as well as you can see a Kilgroth pushed up a little bit too far on the top side of the map, it's going to be the hunt for the fish themselves.
Yeah,
he might be in the river,
fish.
but this is not a deep clearance. You are not able to hide under too far too long, as Yikes is able to pick up that kill, securing themselves now a 6,000 gold lead.
Wow, CLZ escapes with a sliver of his health there. That was insane. But again, 0-9's got to be careful. Kilgoth knew that his teammate was just killed in mid lane. He needed to back off because the obvious rotation from Dino Riders would be towards him because he's overextended. And again, 0-9 needs to stop these overextensions. They need to just clear jungle as quick as they can and stay under their towers and get the waves and try to catch up because the level lead is not in their favor, and the itemization, they're behind 6k gold right now and behind so much damage. If you look at the items, there's 3 tier 3 items completed on Wisp there. And that's going to provide so much damage and burst coming from Wisp. And Raz has 3 tier 3 items as well. This is not looking good. They need to back off and play it safe. Once Violet gets her second tier 3, she can then do work against this team.
They're going to have to be careful because, as you can see, the Dino Riders are waiting in their own jungle. They haven't even decided to go for the Darkslayer just yet. However, as I say that, CLZ and Hoon are looking like they're going to duo that. And it doesn't matter because the other members of Dino Riders are just doing everything they can to take down 0-9. Zika will find himself with a sliver of health, a disengage from the Dino Riders from the Darkslayer, as now you see Hoon and CLZ decide to join themselves onto the fight. Cyclone is going to happen. That's going to pull in Eltrim. That's going to pull in Palm. They're both going to go down. Disengage, it looks like, just when you thought they weren't going to take the Darkslayer. Now they have the opportunity as 2 members of 0-9 have fallen.
Now, what a nice hit by Medic there. Securing a kill on L'Oreal. What they need to do is they need to fight with L'Oreal. She's in her ultimate. I feel like she's always by herself. L'Oreal cannot do much when she's by herself like that. You need the team with you to protect her, to pew for her so that she can just rain damage within the ultimate and slow the enemy team, and they can focus on, because they had a chance to kill Malik there. Malik Sojin was pretty low, getting hit by L'Oreal, and I feel like she's always by herself, casting her smite, casting in the Judgment Circle, and then her team is not behind her, and as a result, getting killed and bursted down so quickly here.
So quickly indeed, as Dino Riders are showing an even more efficient outing here in game number 2, despite the power that they showed in game number 1. CLZ doing a fantastic job thus far on this jungle flash, showing what he can do with the rest of his team. 11 minutes into the game, they've got themselves an 8,000 gold lead advantage with the Darkslayer well in their hands as well. All seems lost for 0-9.
Yeah, and look at Flash. He has Loki's Curse, which gives him so much ability damage once he stacks it 15 times there. And on top of that, he has Apocalypse, which makes his magic and his punches do that much more damage. So that's something they gotta start building a medallion toward. Look at the burst I was talking about. CLZ just eliminating the Omen so quickly.
So now you can see The 09 members doing everything they can to try as they may, try as they might. Winning is not in the cards tonight as 09 finds themselves clean ace. The Dino Riders, plenty of attack, but more importantly, plenty of minions to allow them to push past one high ground turret because that's all they need. The core is next, the core is available. And so just like that, oh no, the BM is gonna come out as well as they're gonna allow that to come through just before the minions finish spawning, just before the players spawn back. Dino Riders walks away with the win. They might have secured themselves the number 3 seed, but that does not mean Dino Riders is stopping anytime soon. They walk away with a 2-0 sweep over 09. Welcome back to the desk, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jump. I've got Sui J. It has been a long day thus far. One match remains. But before we get to that, let's break down this series and Dino Riders' victory.
Yeah, I mean, I love their setups. They're camping in the bush, playing patiently, and then boom, out of nowhere, the burst just comes out. Raz with his knockups, those uppercuts, knocking multiple people up. And then Arjun, Medic on this Arjun played so well. He's constantly getting multiple Ren. And look at the burst coming down here. The ultimates all come down, Rain of Fire. And look at Raz there doing so much damage. AoE getting 2 people, knocking out, and then Flash finishing off with his Mach Punch, destroying the enemy team. And this is why Dino Rider is winning, because their engagements are so decisive. They focus the same targets, and they surprise their enemy from the bushes.
They surprised them indeed. It was Dino Riders being so much more efficient despite the fact that they didn't have the most meta, most preferred of compositions. And so taking a look at what they were able to execute on less played heroes, how are you expecting them to match up against some of these other members as we get closer to the semifinals?
Yeah, they look really good. I mean, they're going to face Immortals, assuming Immortals are going to make it through the quarterfinals today, and that's going to be a really fun game to watch because they put Immortals to the brink. So are they good enough now to actually take a series off Immortals, a number 2 seed? That's what I'm looking forward to. But I need to comment, that Flash build is phenomenal. Loki's Curse, Jungle Flash, and then the Apocalypse item. That gives extra magic damage. Actually enhances your next attack after you use an ability, and you also do plus 80% ability power. So you can see why Flash was doing so much damage. That burst coming out, you can see his fish kind of shining blue. That's Apocalypse for you, and that's why I love that build from Flash. You guys should try it. Flash Jungle is viable, actually, and Down Riders just showed us that.
Well, you heard it from here, but we have to award ourselves an MVP, and it's going to go to Hoon. Hoon has showed up on that Raz in this series specifically and proven, you know, might not be the top of the tier list, but he can perform just as well.
Yeah, game 1, Tulin, he went off getting so many kills, getting so ahead. And in game 2, Raz, I mean, the way that he was comboing, landing his uppercuts, his knockups, his ultimates, bursting down the enemy opponents, that's how you play Raz. Aggressive like that, and he did such a good job. It was so fun to watch him play Raz.
Well, just like that, it was the Dino Riders walking away with the victory, 2-0 over 09. Immortals versus Reformed, one of the new teams that have got themselves through the open qualifiers for our last quarterfinal of the day. Now, Immortals, having secured themselves the number 2 seed, have nothing to worry, nothing to fear, but does that mean that they're going to be slowing down much apart from the other members here that we've seen in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, we'll see. I know that they need to continue to show their dominance. You know, it's been a little shaky past few weeks for them. So interesting to see how well they're going to do against Reform. And it's a very fun matchup for them. If they make it through to face Dino Riders in a rematch, that's going to be really fun to watch. So we'll see how Immortals do. But I'm really curious to see how Reform will do. A new team is always exciting to watch. Hopefully, they have a few tactics and strategies they can do because there's a lot of VOD review on the current teams. There's no VOD review on Reformed.
Well, we gave you an opportunity to tweet over at Twitter using a hashtag Valor Series, but maybe 280 characters isn't enough for you. Maybe you need more. Maybe you have more to say. Well, lucky for you, there's this beautiful website called Reddit, and Arena of Valor has their own reddit.com/r/Arena of Valor for post-match threads, as well as all sorts of discussion revolving around both Arena of Valor as a game, as well as the professional scene here in the Valor Series. We're going to take ourselves ourselves a quick little break, grab ourselves a drink, but in the meantime, let's take a look at a little video that we have you courtesy of Allegiance.
These fries are pretty good. So yeah, we talked to a few different gaming organizations, but after talking to Allegiance, we just felt more comfortable signing with them since they had all the resources that we were looking for.
My teammates, I didn't really need an iPhone 8 Plus, but some of our teammates was playing on like lower versions of phone, and they gave us that to like play.
Well, I think meeting the team is pretty good. Everyone is so nice to me. I feel very honored to be in the team.
I used to play a lot of League of Legends, and I just heard a lot of people talking about Vainglory. So I got really into Vainglory for over a year and a half and played competitive in it for a while. And then Arena of Valor finally released in North America, and there was a good amount of hype around it in the Vainglory scene. And so I tried it out, and I just liked the game more.
I played a lot of mobiles like Dota 2, HOTS. I was actually almost about to get signed with Heroes of the Storm, but I already signed a contract to join the military. And then I went to boot camp, and they like stationed me to Japan. And all I could play down there in Japan was League of Legends. So when I finished my 2-year contract on Japan, I moved back to US on North Carolina. But my PC had no internet, so I was looking for games to play on my mobile. And then I found out about Arena of Valor.
I was playing Kings of Glory in China, and then I switched to Arena of Valor after I came to America. My skills in Kings of Glory carried over into Arena of Valor. That's how I joined Allegiance. Because
there was a team before, Immortals, and I wanted to beat them so badly, so I made a team. And my first teammate was MTS and Sleepy, and then we invited Res and KO to join.
So I'm the support player for the team, and so throughout the game, I'm usually the one that is shot calling and calling out for rotations and when to go for objectives. If we ever lose or drop a game, we always just say, it's all right, let's just move on to the next one. And we talk about drafting strategy a little bit to see what we could have done better, because usually that's what ended up happening.
I want the Arena of Valor to get bigger, because the NA scene has just came out like 4 months ago, and people are still learning to play the game. And most of them doesn't even have any mobile experience. So Arena of Valor is like a good way to start out as playing mobile. I just want it to get bigger, so like there's more scene on NA. The esports will get bigger.
And Dino Riders, if they continue to play like that.
I feel like that is exactly the adjective I would use to describe Allegiance: precision. They are precise indeed. It was like watching a surgeon in action there. They were just taking their opponents apart.
I mean, as long as they get more into the late game and play around him and protect him, Dino Riders has a chance, but they got to focus on lane. They have the ADC, they have the range. They got to be the ones shoving lane and pushing towers against Allegiance.
But you know Allegiance is not going to give them a moment's peace. Morn is not going to be able to do what he wants to get farmed, to get fat in this early game. They're going to shut him down hard.
Well, we're going to get to see an opportunity if that shutdown is actually real. Semifinal number 1 for the North American top 8 in week number 1. It's Allegiance taking on Dino Riders in Virum. Suijay, you're the call.
That's really keeping them in this game because they are just down those crucial early game kills. But now the invade into the jungle here for the side of Allegiance. They're going in Wonder Woman getting a lot of pressure here as well. And they're turning. Look at this pressure going in, forcing into the top lane. Morn is getting solo. Rocker, though, is the one taking a lot of damage. And Zill is there, but look at the turn, the counter initiation back in the jungle, trying to find these takedowns. Sleepy is barely surviving. Skin of the teeth, yes! Barely able to find that takedown. And oh no, Lumber between a rock and a hard place. He's not the rock in this case, and he is going to drop as well. Survive, but look at this mid lane. They're pushing it onto the core.
Yeah, this isn't huge for Morin. You want to keep attacking because he gets a lot of stacks, and this is going to be the game-ending push here. Poor Dino is killing and beating Allegiance. Wow.
5K head. And then also, we followed Dragon KO, and you cleared your wave first before rotating, and so they had number advantage. And then I also called back off when we got a dragon, and someone said engage, and it was 4v5. Like, that was a really bad fight.
You would have, because he punished you, so I thought you were going to get caught out.
No, I was safe. I had flicker.
Okay.
Yeah, just listen when I shock
It's
roll.
2018. We were up so far ahead.
Yeah.
Really, really, really far. That was easy game.
Yeah, we just need to listen because we're doing different things. Because if we actually dedicated a fight, I would have been able to be in the middle of that dragon fight.
Yeah, we didn't team fight at all.
Yeah, so like just listen to shot calls and then we can win easy instead of doing whatever. And then I think Zill's not good against Kilbroth in that comp. He's too weak right now. I don't know. I feel like they were life-stealing too hard for Zill. Yeah, I am wanting to play Arena of Valor long term, and I'm hoping that the scene will blow up. I'm hoping that we get to stay as the #1 team in North America and just continue to win everything.
I want us to like stay as the NA top team for as long as we can.
I've been working with the Legions for 2+ years now, and it's already exceeded every single expectation I've ever had for the team. There's no stop to the ALG fam. We're only going to keep growing, and it's going to be in the most positive manner that we can. We're going to keep bringing home great influencers, and we're going to bring home championships for all the fans to enjoy, because we're only going to bring in championship caliber teams from now on.
Three of the 4 quarterfinal matches for North America have been completed, and now only one remains. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Esports Arena. It has been a jammed-packed session of matches, and what better way than to end it with the overall #2 seed here for North America. My name is Bill Jump Carter. Join with me again and again and again and again.
And again.
And again.
He loves to see me. Don't worry, guys.
Always, every day, even when we're not working. Jeffrey Sweet Chow, sir, we have Immortals going up against Reformed, one of the newer teams, or not one of the newest team here in the Valor Series thus far. What are we thinking?
Yeah, well, we know from last week Immortals kind of struggled. You know, AOG beat them decisively 2-0. KZ Fox looking a little shaky. You know, some of the side lanes, some of the plays are kind of not working together as a team. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do now after they had a few days to work together on that teamwork, on that synergy. And Reformed is a great team to showcase that. And I feel like I'm really excited to see how Reformed will do against an Immortals that's determined to really win this.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that Immortals roster. It is, because week #6 is a little bit crazy, we've got Bobo, X-Tiers, KZ Fox, Dave, and Neo that are going to be gracing the stage today. And now, with the addition of Dave and Neo, if you were turning into the EU broadcast, got to see a nice little vlog of that campus tour of Immortals. How are these new additions treating the team of Immortals, or treating the side of Immortals?
Yeah, the team is working out really well. They are very open to feedback, and they work together as a team, so I feel like it's going to really help them in the long term. And Dave and Neo have really good synergy. You saw them win mid-map control, actually, even against ALG, so they're doing a really good job playing aggressive. But the key is they're just not playing together as a team, and I feel like that's what they really need to work on, because if they do, then the sky is really the limit for them, and that's something that I know that they're working really hard on, so I'm excited to see how they're going to perform today.
Now, we are getting confirmation that KZ Fox, while you see him on this beautiful screen here that just magically went away almost on cue, he is getting subbed in. He's getting subbed out for beginning, so something to take note. But let's go ahead and switch over to our other roster that is going to be Reformed: Wasim, Colossal Blitz, Cobra, Casual Kitty, and GYO.
Oh, cool. I know some of these players. Casual Kitty, actually a streamer for AOV. He played a lot. He's very involved in the mobile scene, played Clash Royale. So this is exciting to see how this team will play out. Haven't seen Cobra or Colossal Blitz, but I'm excited to see, you know, how Reformed is going to match up, because if they get a good draft and they win early game, they have a chance to upset Immortals, but we'll see. But it's going to be a tall tale, like a 1% chance.
A 1% chance. Are you willing to risk your current win percentage on that 1% chance? Do you find
No.
yourself a betting man, my friend?
Yeah, I have not lost 2 out of 4 yet, and so I'm gonna stay just losing 1 bet and stay 3 for 1.
All right,
Or
3
3
for 1.
4, sorry.
3 for 4, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's going to be for who?
Immortals.
All right, it took him a little second. He got it. He figured it out. All right, what about you, Twitch chat? Do you believe in the newcomers? Will Reformed change up this little bit of a different Immortals roster? Let us know in chat, Immortals or Reformed. That way we can check up with you after the pick ban phase. Now, as players get loaded into the lobby and we get that pick ban started, what are we expecting for our final match of the day?
Yeah, I feel like Omen's going to be a priority. We see it very meta. Liliana, Superman, all typical bans. Teamy, every time Teamy goes through, they win. So you got to be careful letting Teamy go through. So I feel like those are going to be the typical ban draft, and they're going to probably target ban specific heroes that they feel are kind of broken. But with Casey Fox not playing today, that's going to shake things up for Reform, because they now need to target ban maybe Dave, maybe Neo. So it'd be interesting to see how they're going to respond.
Interesting thought indeed. Now, seeing what we have, we've had some crazy compositions today considering the implications one way or another. Now the question becomes, Immortals and Reformed, out of all the craziness that we've seen, is there anything that we haven't quite seen yet that either one of these teams could potentially pull out?
Yeah, Flash jungle we saw earlier. That we could see that. I mean, I don't know who's gonna jungle from the side of Immortals. It might be Bobo. That may make sense. Or Dave. He used to be a jungler, so Dave could be put in jungle. Beginnings, I know, is able to side lane, so I think Beginnings will probably play side lane. He also plays support, so can Neo play side lane? I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see what role they're gonna put where. But I think what's going to be key is they're going to stick to ADC meta junglers, I feel, because ADC jungle is just so strong right now.
Well, you heard it here first. That's exactly what we might not see. We're going to have to figure that out. Players are getting loaded into. We'll wait a couple more seconds, guys. We apologize for that delay. Now, looking at these compositional strengths that both of these teams have, what are you expecting for a prioritization for that first pick by the Immortals?
Yeah, I think if Zenio is open, they should take it. They may do their Lubu first pick that they're such big fans of, so that may come out as well. Or maybe Reform may just ban away Lubu, because Lubu has been such a popular pick for Immortals. And listen, they're going to ban away the Mina here. That's a very interesting ban, because I feel like Mina is not a tier S hero. And Morin is going to be banned here. That's really interesting too, because I feel like, okay, Liliana makes a lot more sense. So I'm glad they banned Liliana. Superman should also be their ban, because giving Superman to Bobo is going to be very dangerous.
Something that we have to consider and worry about in some instances, as Malik is being hovered over for the second ban. That will make it 2 side laners in a row for Immortals that they will ban away. Now, with Beginnings in the roster, I would assume that they would throw him over into something like the side lane position, give Neo an opportunity to jungle. Do you feel like that's something like the play, or how's this going to go?
Yeah, I think Beginnings will probably side lane along with exterior side lane, and Bobo will probably be the jungler, and we'll see. And interesting here, Flash being banned, which means Roma's banned. Now Superman has to be banned by Reformed, because if they give over the man from Krypton, that's a very, very tough spot, and that's going to allow in a Teamy first pick. You know, Teamy, Zenio, strong picks, but I think Teamy is probably the one that makes the most sense. And they're going to go ahead and first pick Omen instead. Oh, no, it's a Teamy. There we go.
All right, you got a little bit of heart palpitations there. We might have had
They're playing me. They're playing me every time.
Had to bring out the oxygen tank from the back as Teamy does get locked in for Immortals. GYO and Colossal Blitz end up locking Zenio as well as the Tulin for Reformed, switching it over, giving an opportunity to round out the side lanes for Immortals.
Yeah, Wonder Woman being picked up here, really strong side lane. And Omen, wow, that's already a good pick into the Zenio. That's a strong counter. And I wonder how Reform's going to play. Are they going to play the ADC here? Because Max is out the picture. You know, they have Zephy side lane as well. They can pick Lubu. Yep, they're going with Lubu and a Lumber as their pickup for support. So
now,
both drafts looking pretty good.
Both drafts are looking fairly standard, apart from what we were expecting to see in some instances, as now a mid laner and a jungler is the only team, or the only members left that Immortals needs to pick up. a Jinnar as an option, as well as it looks like the Zephyrs. And so I like this decision to go for the Jinnar. I know it's a hero that you've wanted to see more of in the Valor series, and when you take a look at the dive composition that you have potentially forming here from Reformed with the Lubu, the Zenio, and the Lumber in some instances, the Jinnar makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Jinnar is the guy that wants everyone to bunch up. And then he excels in multi-party fights. So the more heroes around him, the more his ult Nirvana does more damage. Because the orbs, they bounce off the heroes and do additional damage. And it's like a little chain orb effect. So his beads do so much damage. And when he ults and people are around him, he gets more damage reduction, the more heroes that get hit by his ultimate. So Jinnar wants to go in your face, everyone bunched up, and the comp that Reform picked wants to get in your face. So Jinnar is a solid pick into this composition.
Jinnar being the X factor, rounding out the composition. We'll have to see exactly where each of the members of this Immortals roster play. We can make our assumptions, but until they're loaded on the battlefield, we don't want to create any too crazy of the assumptions. Now, seeing what they have in these compositions, despite the Jinnar pick that you do feel is a strong counter into the Reformed roster, who are you feeling does still have the advantage at the end of the pick ban phase?
I think the amount of CC coming from Immortals, they can lock someone down. Kilgroth is very weak. If he gets stunned before he can ult, he's dead. He's actually very squishy depending on how they build him. And they have a Lumber, they have, Zenio, some CC there, but not as much as what Immortals has. So Immortals has definitely the more crowd control. And I feel like if they dive into one person, that person is dead, even a Lumber.
Well, Immortals have found themselves at 54% to Reformed's 46. We're going to have to wait and see exactly which happens between these two teams. Our fourth and final quarterfinal is here and available. The winner of this will find themselves in the semifinals. Unfortunately, there isn't any extra playoff implications for this. Immortals, having secured themselves the number 2 seed, will be sitting nice and comfortable. However, it is now practice, and an opportunity to win themselves a Week 6 and, maybe create something of some drama potentially against Allegiance on Saturday, as now that fourth quarterfinal has begun. Immortals versus Reformed.
Yeah, look at this posturing here. They're going to not invade. They're going to play a little safe here, just farm up. And look at already Neo playing in the mid lane. Neo's actually playing mid, and Dave is going to be jungling here. So that's an interesting match. And then Beginnings will play support, actually. And look at the aggression from X-Tiers here, just jumping onto GYO right off the bat.
Already putting Beginnings in a position that he is much more comfortable upon. Now that we have Beginnings in the support position, we have to take a look at what has and what hasn't worked for Beginnings thus far. The reason why they brought on Neo and benched Beginnings was explicitly revolving around his support style in getting caught out. He was too far into the enemy jungle. He wasn't being cautious enough, something we need to watch out for in this game.
Yeah, that's something he definitely needs to watch out for, because if he gets caught out, Teamy doesn't have the best escape. The Pooty-Poos does give him a speed, but there's no time. And look at the engage here. He's actually going to go aggressive, and look at Colossal Bits. He's going to re-engage there, and Kobar's going to go in as well. And look at the trading there. Both teams playing really well and really aggressive so far.
Really aggressive indeed. Kills haven't happened quite yet. Beginnings will find himself a little low. He's going to have to be forced to flicker away, and so already Reformed doing a good job at catching out a couple members of Immortals. And as I say that, Colossal Blitz will get caught out, but Beginnings will just back himself off. Dave is level 4, mind you.
Yeah, now
Power
he's
farm
invade
for that level 4 to try to get themselves an invade.
That is huge. And look at, they're already setting up for the Spirit Sentinel. They're able to get the Spirit Sentinel right off the bat here. Really awesome rotation by Dave so far. And it's going to look pretty good for Immortals. And the next is the Abyssal Dragon. And look at Reform. They're posturing right around it and wanting to take it here.
So now, 2 minutes into the game, Abyssal Dragon gets started out by Reformed. They have an opportunity to take this away from Immortals. Meanwhile, though, Cobra is being forced to use his Endure, though he's going to go down immediately. Immortals picked up themselves some great kills. Hill being forced out. Wasim is going to have to be forced to walk away. Casual Kitty will find herself in an unfortunate spot as Neo picks up that kill onto the Jinnar. Disengaged by Immortals, Abyssal Dragon as well.
Yeah, what a nice engage here. Wonder Woman, Bobo, just going off, getting a kill on Tulin, and then securing the kill on Casual Kitty. Beginnings on this teamie, getting such a nice stun onto the enemy team, securing the second kill. Right now, Immortals is playing super well, and their team fighting and their team presence has definitely looked a lot better than last week.
So now, at almost 3 minutes into the game, Immortals have got themselves a nice little comfortable lead. X-Tiers in the top lane. on this Omen is something we're going to have to watch as well, seeing how he's going to be able to create some sort of split-pushing power for his team as Immortals. The other lanes have found themselves in advantageous spots, creating their gold advantage, but it is going to be very reliant on how the split push happens. But just as I say that, when you have Beginnings coming out, stunning the enemy in place and allowing X-Tiers to farm up those heroes, everything is good in the world.
Yeah, what a nice rotation by Beginnings. They're securing the kill, and now they can potentially take tower here. They should push the wave as fast as possible, force a rotation from the side of Reformed, and then take the tower. However, they're going to set up for a pick here on the Cobra, and wow, this is really dangerous for him.
Dangerous indeed, as Immortals are all collapsing on. 4 members are there. Neo is going to be having to be used by the Bro Beginnings uses onto him. Beginnings will end up being survived as well. That's going to be 2 members down across the board. Neo and Cobra as well as Wasim. Now Colossal Blitz is going to fall, and so X-Tiers as well as Beginnings and Dave barely surviving GYO. That's going to be the clean ace at 4 minutes in the game.
Yeah, that was huge. What a nice job by Dave there, kiting away his Effie. He's waiting for his abilities to come off cooldown and then re-engaging to get the ace there. Even with Zenio coming from across the map, it wasn't enough for Wasim to survive on Kilgroth, and as a result, they won the trade. Immortals gets the bottom tower, gets another Spirit Sentiment, potentially a top tower here as well. So very nice pick and setup by Immortals.
It's a solid effort of Immortals. They had themselves a slightly uncharacteristic composition, everything being normal outside of that Jinnar, but the X factor, the question marks are how is this rotated roster going to be without KZ Fox in an available Beginnings, though, showing why he is on this roster despite being a substitute in the last couple weeks. 1-0-6, 7 out of 8 kill participation on
Yeah,
that.
he's doing a really good job, not getting caught out, and his ultimate timing was perfect. It revived Neo at the right moment, allowed him to do more damage before the Reform was able to kill him, and that turned the fight around. Honestly, that revive was crucial to Immortals winning that fight.
And so now, opportunities are aplenty for Immortals with the gold lead that they have at their advantage. Abyssal Dragon is already down to 50% HP. It is a 4v4, but mind you, remember, GYO can join the fight if he decides to do so. He's looking onto the bottom side. Here he comes now. It's going to be a 5v4. Casual Kitty able to pick the kill up onto Neo. Beginnings is going to get his revive. Neo wasn't able to get used by a Bro. Dave will be able to pick up that kill onto Wasim. So now the health bars find themselves very low. It's the bob and weave, but Immortals still comes out with victory. Another ace, less than 100 seconds after their second ace, and look at this, it was a 4v5. X-Tiers rotated towards the middle side of the map, is going to get one, and I believe he might be able to get this second tower already at 6 minutes.
Another 4v5, and Dave is just carrying on this Zephy so well. He's cutting the fight so well, but the key was Jinnar went in, Neo went in so hard. That's Jinnar's win condition. However, with Kilgroth there and all the team focusing on damage, it doesn't matter how much damage reduction you get, that's too much for Jinnar to handle. So they were able to take Jinnar down and then kill Beginnings, but then Dave turned around the fight with Zephy's and how he was able to secure the kill on Kilgroth, and then the rest of the team there getting the ace.
X-Tiers goes ultimate onto Colossal Blitz. There's nothing that Reformed can do at this current time. Almost 9,000 gold. I stand now, it is 9,000 gold at 6.5 minutes. Neo picks that kill up onto GYO. And so there is everything in favor of Immortals. The towers, the kills, 2 Abyssal Dragons. Immortals showing why they are going to E3 next month.
Yeah, they are pushing as hard. It's already 6 minutes and 45 seconds and already well over a 10K goldie. Look at the level difference too. Single digit, level 5 on the Lumber. Everyone else, level 10 and 11 above. Lumber is now so squishy, and this is going to be really tough for him. He's got to play careful. He cannot frontline. He cannot give vision, and they got to play super safe and just turtle at this point.
Going to have to be a little careful as the Immortals are pushing down on their base. And as we say that, well, you know what? Might as well take a casual Dark Slayer in the process, as they're able to extend their lead now to 12,000 gold at the 7.5 minute mark. X-Tiers and Neo have been doing phenomenal work for their team despite the changings and the switches that they've had to do thus far. Neo filling that mid lane role quite well, as now they are pushing towards the bottom side of the map. You can see a split. It is a 2-1-2, and Bobo goes bloodbath. 5-0-5 for the Wonder Woman. Dave and Beginnings, in the meanwhile, are on the top side pushing down this turret. Onslaught goes casual. Kitty as he falls down. And so now Immortals, there is nothing standing in their way as the high ground turret goes down almost as quickly as they started touching it. You can see Casual Kitty still down. GYO falls. The inner tower goes down. The minions are there. Cobra will find himself dead. And just like that, 8 minutes is all it took. Immortals game 1. It took 8 minutes just like that. You see Immortals coming away with a Game 1 victory. They swapped some rosters, they swapped from positions, but it didn't matter because they were rolling, and they rocked every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they played, it was so aggressive. The camping in the bush, beginnings just went off on this teamie, getting so many good stuns, and then Dave just carrying the team with these fights, cutting it, using the abilities, going back in, landing these huge death from above, and these death bursts that Zephy's has from his second ability. So really good job overall from Immortals. The way they were able to just outplay and get these aces when it could have looked like it went the other way for them. So really nice teamwork from Immortals, and that's exactly what they need to work on.
It was indeed. And so we have to draw attention to the early game aggression and the early game dominance that Immortals created. Not only were they there every step of the way on the jungle, but they got an ace at 4 minutes in the game, Suijay.
Yeah, Neo uses his ultimate there and no one is with him. He's kind of caught out there. So Reform jumps on him, able to get the kill, but look at Teamy. He activates his ultimate just in time, revives Neo just in time for Immortals to then turn that fight around. They get a kill on Cobra, and then they get onto this Kilgroth here, securing the kill, and the Omen ultimate comes up, locks him in there. He can't get out, and Dave kites the fights and gets out of there, so he doesn't get killed and knocked by Geo. He dodges that shield buff. Geo misses the Malice there, and then Dave's able to follow up and get the kill there, because one auto attack would have killed him if Zenio had that third auto attack passive that in his kit, because that would have secured the kill, but Dave was able to kite properly and go back into the fight.
They get their first ace at 4 minutes, and then less than 100 seconds later, 5 minutes and 40, they were able to secure themselves a second ace. And so Immortals is getting the momentum that they need. You mentioned it yourself. You are a betting man on the team with the most momentum, and today's matches are creating the beginning of a potential snowball for everyone, as Immortals is up 1-0 over Reformed. Sides have swapped. Reformed gets the first pick on the blue side. Anything that they can change for game number 2?
Yeah, they're actually going to go ahead and take away Zephyrs. They don't want to deal with Dave Zephyrs, and go ahead and ban him right off the map. So let's see if Teamy will be taken off the board here. You know, a good red side ban is Teamy, Superman, Liliana, all really solid bans that we see so often come off from the red side. So let's see how Immortals will do a job. They're going to go ahead and take Max off the board.
Max is going to get taken off, as well as the Zephyrs. Wondering what needs to change for Reformed. 4 bans are left alive. Plenty of powerful heroes that they can decide to take off that. So they're going to let that ticker come down just a little bit longer. It looks like Malik is going to be the hover. Malik, I would not be surprised if he gets locked in here as the next ban. It is to the bench you go, my sir.
Yeah, Malik is off. Let's see if Superman will be banned here along with Lilian, or they're going to let it through, because Zenio can also be a ban, but they did let Zenio come through and didn't make that big of a difference. So let's see. They're going to go ahead and take Superman right off the board, which is a great red side ban, and deny that Superman first pick.
Superman being banned away. The final ban for Reformed as an option. The Flash, Zenio, Teamy, I wouldn't be surprised as a potential ban here. Liliana being an option as well. Reformed essentially just needs to decide what don't they want to potentially put into the hands of Immortals, and that's exactly what they're doing with the Flash banned away. Immortals wouldn't be surprised if it's a Liliana. However,
could be a Teamy.
There is the worry, that was going to be my follow-up point, of if they don't ban Teamy, Reformed will, if I'm not mistaken, try to lock that in almost immediately.
Yeah, that'd be a very smart first pick by Reformed if Teamy is not taken off the map. So let's see. They're going to go ahead and ban Zenio instead, and they're going to leave that Teamy first pick open, which also leaves Liliana open. They're going to actually opt for Liliana first, and that allows Ryoma, Teamy, to be picked on Immortals, and that's a really solid duo there.
Very solid indeed. So Liliana is taken away, and now Teamy gets an opportunity. Wonder Woman, Ryoma being bounced back and forth, but Sometimes you just need some consistency. You need that foundation, and the Amazonian woman herself gets locked in, as well as that teamy. 2 strong picks for Immortals.
Yeah, Ryoma is open. That can be picked up along with Lubu. Omen are also solid picks here. Looks like they're going to opt for Lubu here. I wonder if they're going to pick Ryoma or Lubu. I mean, Roma or Omen. Actually, they're going to go and secure the Lumber. And I don't think they need to pick Lumber at this point, because Lumber is not going to be picked by Immortals because they already have Teamy. So now they leave Omen open and Ryoma open as well. So it could be like an Omen Violet pick here, but instead they're going to go ahead and get Tulin.
Tulin seems to be the lock-in. Violet as well. We haven't seen a plethora of 80 carry junglers coming out of Immortals, despite the fact that KZ Fox isn't going to be the jungler. It still has not been a priority for Immortals. They prefer a little bit more of those melee junglers trying to help them out. Piora gets hovered over. I'm not too sure if that's going to be a lock-in for Reformed. Ryoma is much more of a safe opportunity.
Is that pure? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm about to say.
Oh, my.
And Raz, that's a heavy engage comp. They have Ryoma-san. Raz knock up. Lubu knock up. Stun from Lumber. Stun from Liana. That's actually a really solid draft from Reform. I really like what they picked here. Let's hope they can be able to execute it. And then Omen will be the last pick for Immortals. And that's also a good draft, but not as much CC potential, because Violet and Tulin lack the CC that the other 3 provide. The side of Reform, I really like what they drafted here, and hopefully they're able to pull off their combo.
They're going to have to find some way to stop the momentum of Immortals. It has been something that, by and large, they have pulled to their advantage time and time again. Liliana, Lumber, Lubu, Ryoma, and Raz. A very solid composition and a successful draft phase here by Reformed.
Yeah, definitely a successful draft phase. Now Reformed just need to show up. They need to really think about not getting ganked, watch out and anticipate the movement of Immortals.
Yes.
And if they can do that and not give all these deaths over, they're going to be in a good spot.
And the question mark comes, how is Immortals going to be able to manage themselves off with a Violet in the jungle? While you have to speak about the prowess, these are professional players, preferences comes into play, and Immortals haven't found themselves much success with a AD carry in the jungle.
Yeah, they are more comfortable on ADC or assassin compositions,
Yes.
which they excel at, which we saw them just play. So with an ADC, they have the key is the Violet. The way they play ADC is like an assassin. They want to dive in there and get out of position and get caught out. So how Violet positions in this game is going to be very critical.
Well, it is our last time of the day for you to share your words. Go over to Twitter, use the hashtag Valor Series. Let us know who you feel is going to win, as well as everything else that there is to say about the Valor Series. We are on our final match, potentially final game of our Wednesdays. No more solo experience with you, Sweej. I will have to deal with Paul on the desk. If only I could have 2 of you, then life would sometimes be better.
I mean, we do need to carry you.
I deserve that one. But game number 2 is here. Quarterfinal number 4. Immortals is 1 win away from another semifinals berth. Reformed looking to even things up.
Yeah, let's see if Immortals is going to position. They're going to be a little aggressive here, and that's exactly what they do. They're going to come in there. Let's see, Neo. Neo is now playing on this Teamy, and Beginnings is on this Wonder Woman, and Bobo is on the Violet. Wow, they're just switching this up completely here.
Changing things up, you might as well have fun with it, considering they've already locked themselves in that number 2 seed. 45 seconds on the mark, which means Immortals wants to come in and try to get themselves an invade. They do just that, securing themselves that might buff on the bottom side. You can see X-Tier's doing a good job at fending off the members of Reform from going into the Immortals jungle, so they have an opportunity to rotate over. Solid effort by them. X-Tier's now going back to the top side of the map. Immortals defending their jungle.
Yeah, what a nice rotation there. And as a result, they're able to be the more mentally aggressive team, and that psychologically could have effects onto Reform, because Reform could give up map control, they could give up river control, and look at Beginnings here. He's winning the trade against Ryoma, where normally Ryoma normally wins against Wonder Woman because Ryoma has more range. He has his passive, he has a Willing Blade, and look at Beginnings there, 1v1ing the Ryoma. Really awesome job on the side lane by Beginnings.
And so now Beginnings making himself up that first piece of the kill. Solid effort by him. as now 2 minutes into this game, we are getting to the perfect time for Immortals to continue this oppression as the Abyssal Dragon has spawned. Cobra, though, doing a good job getting some poke onto Neo. No level 4s hit just yet. Dave as well as Bobo, though, are going to find themselves in a closer situation. Bobo doing a good job at farming himself up to that level 4, so he does have that ultimate available. Colossal Blitz is going to get a nice little double knockup. Ultimate's going to come out there, though, by beginnings. Colossal Blitz actually picking that kill up onto Dave, but Cobra falling in the meanwhile to Bobo. It's now going to be Immortals auto attack after auto attack. Wasim is going to end up falling. The Raz will be able to pick up the kill as well, and so now Immortals trading these kills back and forth, but Reformed stopping the potential
Yeah,
Dragon
what
take.
a nice bush engage from Reformed there. And the ultimate from Wonder Woman, unfortunately, Dave then was not on the right side and did not get the barrier he needed there from Wonder Woman. Because if he had that barrier, that fight may have turned out differently, but they're able to secure the kill and burst down to it. Immediately, Dave is gone. Then they get a second kill, but the rotation from Bobo saved the day and was able to evenly trade there with 3 kills to 2 now.
Wow, nice little snipe comes out there out of Dave, getting back into the comfort of the mid lane where he loves so much. Immortals beginnings actually being able to pick up a kill onto GYO as well. So 3 minutes in the game, it doesn't look like any sort of snowball has been stopped. That snowball turning into an avalanche here as Immortals are already rocking and rolling.
Man, he's
Game
trapped
number
in
2.
the Death's
Wasim
Embrace.
can't do anything. Death's Embrace spelling disaster as Wasim ends up falling. Liliana will fall as well. Cobra will end up finding those gray screens as Immortals is yet again on a roll.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, Dave winning mid lane, beginnings winning side lane. GYO needs to play very careful. He is caught again and gets killed. That's already 3 deaths to Ryoma's name. And look at that, 1.4k gold to Wonder Woman's 2.1. He's got to be careful because every death is going to put you so much more behind. And this is why when you see a lot of deaths on your team, that's something that your team needs to work on because each death, that timing, the number of seconds, it matters a lot to your farm.
Something to consider, something to worry about as Reformed finds themselves already down 4,000 gold at just over the 4-minute mark. It is a worry for them if they have any desire to come back in this game. 1 tower as well as 1 Abyssal Dragon is in favor of Immortals at this time. And at this stage in the game, Immortals is just doing everything by the book, and Reformed is unable to keep up. Colossal Blitz is ending up turning into dust as Neo and Bobo are doing a great job here at continuously keeping pressure on the bottom side of the jungle. There's nothing that the other members of Reformed can do. Immortals, it all owns to them.
Beginning secures the tower in the bottom there, and then they collapse on GYO again. Man, he's got to be really careful here. And as a result, he's at 1.5. He's less gold than the support, which is devastating for your side laner. Ryoma needs items, needs that damage. And look at it, another catch out by beginnings. Beautiful Wonder Woman ultimate, getting the kill on Colossus as well, Colossal Blitz. And this is turning out to be a heavy, heavy snowball.
Flickers away, but it doesn't matter because the tier 2 tower in the bot side has already been taken. Dave is continuously pushing up into the top side of the map, or in the middle side of the map, rather. GYO is just chilling in the base, waiting for his team to make a decision. Colossal Beast respawns and will try to help some sort of defense coming out of Reformed, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Casual Kitty ends up going down. Dave going ultimate, proving why the Immortals roster recruited him in the first place. He is sitting at a healthy 3, 1, and 3. X tiers as well is dueling with Wasim in the bottom side of the map. 3 members down. It looks to me like there's going to be an Abyssal Dragon taken.
But it's too far. They leashed it too far. As a result, it's going to reset, and that is wasted time. And they're going to give a tower over and not get the dragon. That is a big mistake. You cannot lease the dragon off that far because when it resets like that, now you're spending extra time to get 1 dragon. You potentially could give up another tower. 2 towers for 1 dragon is not worth it.
No, it is not indeed, and it doesn't look like the members of Immortals are stopping anytime soon. They do have a siege minion, so they've got a little bit of extra pushing power.
Oh my goodness.
The recalls are happening, but I don't think it's going to be enough, Suije. Immortals is being able to secure themselves 1, 2, 3 towers in the top side of the map. The high ground goes down at 6 minutes into the game. The respawns are starting to happen, but with just enough of the minions, they're going to try to get a little bit of extra damage. Cobra's going to try to come in.
Cobra,
the Endure is going to come out, but you're not going to be striking anytime soon. And just like that, it looks like the Reformed team goes down. Immortals walking away with the Game 2 win. Immortals snowball turns into an avalanche that turns into a worldwide disaster. For the side of Reformed, they walk away with the 2-0 victory. Another sweep, Immortals putting themselves in the semifinals, improving yet again why they belong in top 4.
Yeah, that plays on the rotation. Although Reform did have a sign of life, that nice bush gank coming out. However, they just got out-rotated. I feel like the teamwork and the rotations coming Immortals was much more decisive, was much more clear. They're able to push objectives down so well. Getting 3 towers in one push is massive. And as a result, they're able to snowball and get ahead so well. And Beginnings played phenomenal in that Wonder Woman, and also Teamy in Game 1 as well. Dave played out of his mind on Zephyrs and on Tulin. So it's great to see, Immortals stepping up their game.
Well, we're going to go ahead and award our MVP to the substitute player that has decided to come in and help himself out. Beginnings playing Wonder Woman, as well as Teamy helping out his team and getting the MVP.
Yeah, making so many plays, winning the trade against Ryoma, which is huge, getting that first tower, landing some key ultimates, some key lasso engages. So really, really good job by Beginnings there. But honestly, the entire team for Immortals played really, really well.
They did indeed. Now, as a result, our final quarterfinal has ended, thus concluding the matches for here on our Wednesday broadcast. Semifinals is Allegiance, One Trick, Dino Riders, and Immortals. The losers being forced to continue to vie themselves for points on the other side, the relegation bracket. While there is no week number 7, week 6 is the end. This is important for points purposes to potentially get in the top 8 for that money reward. Toxic Pigs, Upsala, 09, and Reformed. Now, Sweej, before we kick off for the day, let's talk about this fourth spot that's going to be up for grabs. One Trick has to make it to the finals. They're going to be playing Immortals on Saturday. Seeing what you saw, is there a chance that One Trick can win against Immortals and secure themselves a spot at E3?
Yeah, they're at the mercy of Allegiance. I mean, Allegiance doesn't really have to play anymore, right? They can just enjoy their Saturday and just try some stuff out, and then basically not let One Trick win, but play composition that they're not used to, and potentially One Trick could turn. But the way that One Trick playing, they could beat Allegiance if they have a stronger meta draft versus a non-meta draft. So they really have to rely on Allegiance, honestly, because if Allegiance plays like Maganga and all these interesting compositions, they could high risk, high reward, and could be risky, and they could lose against One Trick, and which gives One Trick a chance to maybe make it to the playoffs, but it's going to come down to that.
Well, there's one more broadcast left for week number 6, the regular season coming to an epic conclusion on Saturday. If you want to catch up on any of the matches, any of the storylines, we've got a lot for you, and it's all on our YouTube, youtube.com/Valor Series, where you can get yourself an opportunity to check out all of the matches. We've got some highlight reels, everyone's beautiful faces, as well as all of the exclusive content that you have here to offer for the Valor Series. It has been quite an exciting day in Virum. Sending my love to those beautiful boys on the desk. Valor Series, miss you. We miss you too, Paul. We will see you on Saturday. You will see us on Saturday. I will see you. We will see them. Everybody's going to see because eyes are aplenty. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a beautiful day. It has been a fantastic day. We will see you on Saturday.